Now entering Nerdist.com.
Matt and Matt. Did I go too soon? We always break.
I think you were right and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I think it was good, though, just the way.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I wish it were just a little more shrill. Can you work on that?
Amplify it in your headphones.
We can try.
Sweet.
What am I, 2 on this?
Yeah.
Thank you. Cool.
What am I, 2?
You should go up. There you go.
Yeah, I can't hear a thing.
There
Okay.
you go.
Perfect.
Right there?
There.
Oh, good?
Oh, yeah.
Right, perfect. I love it. All right, now that our levels are set, welcome to the 5th episode?
I think so.
Yeah.
Third James Bond film.
The 3rd James Bond film in the series, the 5th one we're doing. Our guests today, all the way from the Scripps Networks. Allie Ward, Georgia Hartsock. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
You guys are great. You guys do your cocktail things. You guys go on adventures and then make inspired parties about it.
Yeah, fellow drunk historians.
Yay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Guys, I have not laid down a drunk history yet.
Matt, you'd be good at it.
Yeah,
You would. You should.
I would pontificate.
You
I
would,
wanted
should.
to do the molasses story, but they got somebody before me. I was like, fuck. The Boston molasses spill. It's
They
my
didn't
favorite
do that.
story.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that might have never actually made it, but they did film it.
Oh.
I talked to Mahoney about it. Anyway, that's some inside information.
Yeah.
I think I'm putting some pieces together now.
Yeah.
Someone got cut.
Yeah. I know that happened, but
Really?
now I'm starting to put it together.
Yeah. Anyway.
Like, what could you do wrong on Drunk History? Like, maybe you
did right. He did
Yeah.
right. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was too accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The syntax was perfect the entire time.
He was driving and not completely within the law. Well, welcome to the Drunk History Podcast.
Yeah. We were talking about drunk history. Okay, guys, Goldfinger. You guys, to my knowledge, have never seen a James Bond movie.
Nope. I really love this because I was against it already in so many ways, but then when you wanted us to do this, I was like, well, this is a great reason for me to watch it.
Yeah.
There's like a purpose instead of just me sitting around watching, my feminism die a little bit inside. Yeah. I had never watched. I was like, what's the deal with James Bond? Like, I didn't know. I was like, I know people watch it and there's gadgets, but I didn't quite know
The way
what
you say that.
the
Such
deal
disdain.
was. And I had a pretty strong reaction to it. I feel like James Bond is one of those things where, like, if your dad, like, it's like football. If your dad didn't watch football when you were a kid, you have no point of reference for it. And the same thing with James Bond.
Yeah,
Also,
that may be true.
If your dad watched James Bond, though, your mom was like in a closet, bound and dead. You know what I mean? Like, and then he moved on to the next. Like, I can't. I had a lot of reactions to this.
This is I'm so excited.
It's going to be a
this
unique
situation.
perspective. I'm glad because we haven't had anybody that has no prior experience with James Bond. So
Yeah,
this is
you're
good
our-
that we do
you're our
this,
first.
Because
So-
we do not condone well, it depends on the movie because they're not like this anymore. So this
Yeah.
is a bit of a period piece. What?
Are
Well,
they? Like, how are they not
They
like
are
this?
a little bit like.
Well,
How are
but
they
no,
not like
no, they're not like this in that.
Well, he has a wife and kids now.
Yeah, he's settled down.
he did get married.
He uses condoms.
He got married.
There's
Yeah.
like a tacit acknowledgement that Bond can be a much more of a chauvinist. Now in these current ones, it's more so relegated to the bad guys, if that makes sense. You know, it's not saying that the movie doesn't involve some misogyny or that sort of thing, but it's not trumpeted as like we're cool with this, right? You know, it's usually as a plot point that.
Well, but also still to this day, the first girl he fucks in the movie dies immediately,
Yeah, what the?
and then he moves on.
He never had sex with her in Casino Royale.
Wait, you
Did
mean
he never really?
Wait, he
Come on.
always fucks someone and then she dies?
Almost,
Typically.
yeah, almost
Are you
every
serious?
time.
And he's
yeah.
just fine. Isn't he
Yeah.
scar? I think he's you guys, James Bond is a narcissist. We're all.
Oh yeah,
we know that.
He's,
course he
right?
is.
he's
Of
a
course he
horrible
is.
person, especially from the novels,
Like,
because the
clinically.
author was pretty much awful. He's an awful misogynist. And
So wait a minute.
I love Allie's reaction
We
here.
just skipped over the fact that, like, oh yeah, he fucks a chick in the beginning of the first act. She dies, and
Yeah.
he moves on without any counseling.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
no
All the
counseling
time?
whatsoever. Yeah,
This guy's a psychopath.
his counseling
He
is
is.
vodka. That's his
He's
counseling.
an alcoholic psychopath.
Yeah.
well, he's also a murderer, so it's not like
Yeah.
he's. The problem with the movies is they got to be cartoons where that became this thing where that's cool, no big deal. And so the newer movies better explore how flawed this whole world is.
Oh, but you know what, though? That's irritating because, and I was reading an article, I believe it was on Slate, like a few months ago, about,
That's pretty misogynist.
isn't it already?
Yeah.
About cable television anti-heroes and how, because you can get away with more, it's exploring the flawed psychology of an anti-hero is like kind of like the Thing, Breaking Bad and The Wire and just whatever, Mad Men, but that doesn't excuse the behavior. It's like,
Sure,
but it's sort of like, but you guys, it's fucked up, which is like, but he's still doing terrible things.
This is an interesting sort of way to look at it, because I never looked at it like that.
The new ones, I see the new ones totally in parallel with these, like the new golden age of cable television.
Yeah?
Because when Vesper dies, his last line is "the bitch is dead," and it's supposed to be that he's this cold-hearted thing. But she
did
betrayed
double
him.
cross him.
But
I mean,
also,
I thought that was a valid line.
But the way they play it in the movie's more nuanced, and it feels like he's doing it also as a denial, like I have to hate her because he loved her so much, which is totally new for Bond. You wouldn't get that in a Connery one or anything like that.
Yeah, but does it excuse his actual behavioral choices? No. So like backstory is I feel like backstory is used as a justification of really reprehensible, like psychopathic behavior, which I'm like, that's not okay.
In the very beginning, like one of the first scenes of Goldfinger, aside from the duck on the head, which can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I mean, it was a seagull, but go ahead.
Whatever.
Waterfowl.
Either way, it's way more obvious than if someone just swam up underwater. Like,
You have an amazing point.
Wow.
An amazing point.
The first
Why
thing
take the risk? He has scuba
Waterfowl
gear.
doesn't swim that fast.
Unless
if
there's
you
some
know,
like little periscope which they did not show. So yeah,
they
that's
could
just
have that.
yeah.
Anyways, he uses a female human being as a
human shield.
A shield.
I have
that
written
he was
in my
about
notes,
to have sex with.
woman tit shaking. Then she's in the bath. Did he use her as a human shield?
He used
Question mark.
her
That's
as
in
a
my notes.
Did you say
human
tit shield?
No, tits were bouncing.
Tit shaking.
Oh, I
because
thought
the
you
first
said
time we
tit
see
shield.
her, the
Yeah.
first woman 2 minutes in is shaking her tits, and then you're like, oh, she's naked
she's
in the
belly
bath.
dancing.
Well, whatever. She's as though you don't shake your tits when you're. It's what you do.
Well, I'm just saying.
And then she uses as a human shield. Like I wrote
Human
the
shield.
same words.
It'd be
it matter
weird if
to
she
you
was like
guys,
dressed
though?
like a secretary and was doing that.
I don't even think. But the
Where-
thing is, he
Does it
didn't
matter that she's in on it?
No, but he didn't even know for sure. I mean, yeah, you see
he
the reflection in the
knows
eyes.
everything.
Yeah.
He knows.
but It's not
He
like
knows everything.
Look, I'm not defending this. Believe
The
me.
25 seconds in, my first note, I wrote down 25 seconds in, I hate James Bond. That's all. I was like, that was a
Well, my-
knee jerk, if
yeah.
nothing else.
My first note on this was that I found the Foley work at the beginning of this movie to be batshit crazy, because the sound of the C4 coming out of that tube is the most reprehensible thing I've ever heard committed to audio.
I love our first notes.
It's just
tell
like-
a lot about.
It's like so disgusting,
It's
and
like
it's that
slimy.
but louder, and it's like gross. Why do you need that sound?
So yours is you hate James Bond. Yours is you hate the sound of the C4 tube. Mine is typical like minutia. Well, that's still Bob Simmons in the gun barrel sequence. It's not even Sean Connery
Wow.
playing James Bond.
And I'm
Did you
like, ducks
notice?
don't move that quick.
Did you notice Bob Simmons does a hell of a jump?
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
just
when
like
he
a
does
whoosh.
his leap. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really funny. If you watch Daniel Craig now do the gun barrel thing, where at the very beginning of the movie, it's so much quicker and more calculated, and it looks like he would actually die. Whereas this guy looks like he would get shot mid jump because he really takes a good
It's
second
like he
to
had
jump.
the bullet in the gun and he had to use like centrifugal force
You gotta get
to
this
jerk
out.
it out. Yeah.
The credits also were 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And-
tell me after if I'm still watching.
Oh,
tell
see
me after.
that's one thing I just love.
Why? What is the point of that?
Just the style, the song. It's something you don't get anymore. It's a throwback to another era.
The
and
song
I-
actually killed me because am I the only person that had the words to Moon River in
Yep,
their head
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
entire
yeah.
time?
Moon River.
It's very similar. Yeah.
Whole time.
Same thing.
But that's
But not
'cause,
as
you know,
cool.
you're either steeped in Breakfast or Tiffany's or James Bond, and
Well,
you
then
choose
I was
a
just
song
picturing
camp,
the two of them
you know.
making out, and I was super
Oh,
into
no.
it.
Well,
they would
that's
just be
nice, yeah.
they would just be so many psychological issues in two people. They would never their faces couldn't get close enough to make out because they
Wait.
both are so afraid of intimacy.
Yeah, they could-
Holly
they-
Gold Lightly.
I know Holly. Yeah, that's a Bond name right there. But you're right. Like that's quintessentially male and female, the two most fucked up
Totally.
Yeah.
heroes.
cinematic
And-
archetypes. Yeah, you're like
I'm,
I'd
I'm into
watch
that,
that.
movie. Yeah, let's do it.
Can we
Sold
do-
in the room.
What's
let's do it.
the what's the story?
ship it when you ship it.
No, what's that?
That's when you relationship when you see two people and you try to make
no.
them it's like fan fiction
I'm
where you're
that's
like
fan fiction.
I'll
That's
ship
what I was
that.
trying to think of. I would
Yeah.
write some hardcore James Bond, Holly Gold Lightly.
Do you mean like hardcore?
I love it.
Yes, hardcore.
All right.
We're showing
Holly Gold
penetration.
Lightly is
Holly
a
Gold
great,
Lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great get up on that. Someone write that. Send
They
us a
will.
link.
Someone Photoshop us a Goldfinger, Holly Golightly, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Also, if that's Connery and Audrey Hepburn, and they worked together in Robin and Marion, they were in a movie together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's up, Rain Man?
Yeah, it's not the first time I've
He's
been
great,
called that.
isn't he?
I gotta go.
A couple of fun things that this is the first time we see Bond's Rolex Submariner.
Oh,
His what? His what?
The Rolex that he's wearing.
Okay.
Which you can now buy on eBay. The same year Rolex will run you about $68,000.
Holy mackerel!
Now, this is the first time we're seeing a completely unrelated cold open, which is completely unrelated.
You're right. Yeah. Usually there's a tie-in in the pre-credit sequence to the film. This is like
so. This little fun adventure we see at the beginning has nothing to do with the plot.
I was wondering because I realized about 6 or 7 minutes in, I was like, "What the fuck is this movie about?" And then I literally had to get on Wikipedia and be like, "All right, gold, some gold."
Yeah, I was like, am I missing some important dialogue? Because that's a thing that I think that I didn't understand about Bond is that the dialogue and the reasons for things don't really matter.
They don't.
No.
And the whole time I was like if I couldn't hear it or I missed something, I'd rewind it, and then I'd be like, "Oh no, it doesn't matter what anyone is saying." And that woman, that blonde woman, it doesn't matter. She doesn't.
No.
She isn't an integral character.
Her name is Dink in the movie. Isn't that the worst? Are you talking about the one at the pool?
Yeah.
Or, Dink.
Oh, you mean the masseuse who he swats on the butt and says,
Man
quote,
talk.
man talk?
Yeah.
Like I think that one of my notes was this movie should have been called Woman or Bad. And then it's just, I couldn't believe how much fucking fighting. I was like, you guys.
Lots of fighting.
Talk it out.
And really bad, like really ineffectual fighting too.
Like people are cockroaches. Like just kill them and then move on.
Yeah, they have families and people who care about them.
But this is a heightened world of I'm not.
I know, but I can't suspend my disbelief.
I finally figured out where all those henchmen came from.
Yeah, those poor guys.
What are you talking about?
All of Goldfinger's henchmen.
They were like Oompa Loompas' evil cousins.
No, they were Chinese.
I thought they were. In the book they're Koreans.
But they're Chinese because China's sending them over. They're like, here you go,
to
have
work.
some soldiers, because that'll
yeah.
help us out.
Oh, I never.
They
realized
tell you that when they're like, the reason we have all this money for this, this bomb is because China.
I have to say that
China's really helpful.
This may anger you too, but this is typically one of the most popular, if not the most popular, James Bond film. And I watched it this time, and I was checked out. Like I just found it a little.
It was a chore.
Boring.
It was a chore to watch.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, at the very, I hated it the whole way through. And I was like, I don't get it. Guys are crazy. Like, I don't understand men. But then at the very end, I was like, all right, well, it's okay.
Well, did you find any
there were some
fun,
redemptive.
like, seeing past a lot of the ridiculous bullshit in there, but was there any fun for you in the world, like just the spy world and the gadgets and the music?
Not the gadgets. I don't.
Oh, the gadgets!
care.
The gadgets! I was like, that is the jankiest GPS I've ever seen. Like any
The
Hyundai,
jankiest GPS.
like a
1960.
Hyundai. I don't give a shit.
63.
I'm living in 2013, so I saw that and I was like, a Hyundai would come with better standard GPS, and I don't care. Not to mention like, oh, that's a sweet move where you destroy someone's tire, like in a Mustang, you ruin her car, and then
I know
like, that's just
that was
mean.
so terrible.
Like you shouldn't need those kind of can openers on your hubcap.
Plus, she just shot at you, and you're just like playing it. No.
Yeah, I just couldn't. That's coming up.
Guys,
but,
you're jumping ahead.
Okay,
I'm so sorry, but no, the gadgetry. I was just like, it was like if someone made you go into Brookstone for 1 hour and 37 minutes, and you're like, this is just like a Brookstone catalog. It's like a sharper image catalog that will not fucking stop. Only they're like, look at my tiny radio transmitter that is the size of like, a toaster, and you're like, I hate you.
I agree. Like, I get that some people are like guys, especially, are really into the gadgetry of it.
Yeah.
That to me was not very interesting. I did like some of the chases and some of the fighting and some of the costumes and. I don't know, but the gadgets, I like to read books, and I hate Kindles. So, like, to me, it was like the same kind of thing where I don't care about Kindles.
Is there anything to be taken from the fact that, like,
I own 8
nobody had
Kindles.
seen?
Do you really?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Why do you have 8 Kindles?
I get the new one whenever it comes out.
So what do you do with the other 7?
They're on Kindle
Sit in a
8 at
pile?
this point?
You have them like Beanie Babies.
I'm collecting them.
If you ever want to sell, well, I don't know if I want a Kindle, but I don't want
It's
to.
nice to have one for like $10.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
the gadget
If you,
girls.
I'm
Emily wants
just
a
saying, I'm
Kindle.
like books, and if it has a radio transmitter, and it can.
Some of them have Wi-Fi and 3G.
Oh, jeepers.
Also,
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Okay, wait. Can we go back to the Jill who was killed with the
Jill
body paint?
Masterson.
Oh,
Yeah.
have we even gotten that
No,
far? Because I want
let's-
to talk about the blue-eyed Mexican man.
We're gonna.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, the guy that comes in when he sees the intruder in the girl's reflection.
Oh,
yes,
we're
yes,
still
yes.
there. Okay.
Yeah,
that is
takes
the
a while, guys.
stunt man, and the guy that they hired to do it. I can't remember why.
I guess
couldn't
my
do it.
cheekbones look the most
Yeah,
Mexican.
Yes, that's right. And he
That's
has like crystal blue eyes.
Says in the
Crystal blue
interview.
eyes. That's
Shut
right.
up.
In the interview, it's like I got my cheekbones were the most, so I guess I look most Mexican.
Because in Doctor No, there are a bunch of Asians, but they don't hire Asian
They hired
actors.
There are two Asian women.
Yeah,
in the
for the
movie,
small parts,
Who
but
are
for the bigger
great
parts,
and
they
should
hire Anglo actors. Yeah.
and then do them up Asian.
Well, that's pretty natural for that time.
Yeah, I mean everything was above board from like a politically correct standpoint, right?
Anything goes.
Yeah, everything was everything.
Let's get back to it.
yeah, no. Also,
So, but also,
That's what's so weird about. I'm sorry.
What? No, there you go.
You guys are two of like the nicest, gentlest creatures I've met
That we know of.
that we know of.
Why so suspicious? First of all,
Well,
Because you love James Bond.
because you're a Bond sympathizer, and that makes me.
when have I ever sympathized with him?
Well, I mean, discussing like whether or not his.
I can't approach this academically.
No, I mean, but
I'm just playing.
can you approach something involving pussy galore academically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you sure can.
Yeah, I mean, you can approach anything.
I'm not defending that at all. I think it's ridiculous.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
approach anything academically, but
Oh wait, you know what's going to be worse with that?
What?
Is, that's not her original name.
Oh, what
her real name was
right.
like
Oh, Jesus.
vaginal fisting.
Oh, sorry. Oh no, what it was is not the original response. So when she says
yeah.
my name's Pussy
He
Galore, and he
smirks.
says, what does he say? Of course you are. I mean, I must be dreaming.
Yeah.
The original line was, I know. Oh God, this
I know
is
you
not,
are, but
this
what am
will
I?
really endear
Tell
you
me.
to it.
Tell me.
I know you are, but what's your name?
Oh, gee whiz.
What the fuck? Like, what I don't understand is this was made in 1963. This is like pre the Summer of Love. Like, people were like, we kissed in a park and we smoked doobies, and that was a revolutionary. But this is like, my name is All You Can Eat Vagina Buffet, and they're like, sweet, let's put this as a mainstream movie. How is that okay?
It was cutting edge, and I'm not defending it, but action wise, travelogue wise, gadget wise, sexism wise, it was something people hadn't seen before, and I think that's why it was a phenomenon. Good or bad, that's why it was, because you just didn't get Pussy Galore in a movie.
But wait a minute.
It's that's the time it was. There was a thing I read on Reddit. They had a newspaper clipping article of this section of the paper where they ask locals a question, and there's this thing where they ask husbands if it's okay to spank their wives, and they use the word spank. Every single guy says, of course it's okay if
When
she
was
gets
this?
out of line. This is like 60-something.
Yeah, there's a
God.
really great like coffee ad that you can find online of like it's like an advertisement for like your wife got the wrong coffee, and it's like a picture of a wife bent like straddling this dude, her husband's leg, and he's spanking her.
Because that's both.
Don't
like,
get out of line, or your husband's gonna spank you if you get the
That's
wrong
both
coffee.
abusive and somehow like they're
sexy?
trying to
Oh.
be titillating with it or something.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like it's
Man.
the worst of both worlds.
Like, it's funny. I don't know. I mean, it's funny because there's part of you that wants to be like, everything's okay now, right? Right? We abolished slavery. We can vote. Things are fine now. And then you're like, oh no, they're not going to be fine for.
Oh, she found
Katie
your
Moneypenny.
husband ever finds out you're not
Okay, this
store
is-
testing for
Oh my
freshness of
God.
coffee.
Did they
then-
do something like
This
that
is-
on Mad Men?
This
or
is from
something?
the
Jason
this is from the
Sanborn.
50s.
I'm physically nauseated.
This is from
right
the
now.
50s.
If a woman needs it, should she be spanked?
needs it.
Needs
Guys,
it.
She needs it.
But,
like,
For
look
her
at
own
every-
good.
Yes, when they deserve it. As a barber, I've got a lot of faith in the hairbrush.
What?
Yeah, you can put that right up your urethra.
Oh my God.
Frank Desidero from Brooklyn, who, by the way, looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Of course, every
I
single
hate
person
him.
in that.
Every single one of these people looks like the biggest child molester. Probably
Oh
are.
my God, they all look like Barry Goldwater.
I wrote a note when I was watching this, and it just says, I hate everyone Earth is archaic. I don't even know.
Oh my god!
I just was like, and I was watching this. I told you guys because they just recently on September 2nd took all of the Bond films off of Netflix. They took 17 off.
Oh really?
Thanks Netflix for knowing that I procrastinated and not wanted to watch this movie.
She sent that to me after a nap yesterday. I was like, shit.
Fuck. And I had to watch it on this thing called Views, and I was like, I tried to find it streaming, and as soon as I clicked on it, some pop-up ad with this woman with like very pendulous teats came up. Like it was all porn pop-up. In order to watch this, I had to further watch more women objectifying themselves in order to watch women being objectified. I was like, sweet guys, thanks.
I really love this take.
Just gonna open this vein real quick. Yeah. I mean, also, okay, so Jill, she was like 2 seconds after meeting her and helping Goldfinger, whose first name is Auric, which is like
delightful.
So like it's an insult to the periodic table. But so he is making out with her 2 seconds after, and then whatever, she dies from epidural asphyxiation.
Yeah.
Apparently, she just did she just lay there and let him paint her?
Well, how did he do that so fast?
I'm sure he gave her a tranquilizer, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it
No.
probably knocked her out over the
Yeah,
head
but
with
Also,
a
that's a way
champagne
people
bottle.
die. Just kill someone.
No, just kill someone.
Just slit someone's
Oh, it's
throat already.
sending a
But do you
message.
think the
I
actress
know.
actually got like legit like ovarian cancer from
No, she
toxicity?
didn't. No,
Are
they,
you sure?
They myth busted this.
Yeah,
She's
I
also
actually
still
remember
alive.
seeing that.
Yeah.
She is?
Yeah, so
And
she hasn't
happy.
died yet, but she might.
She could die
Yeah.
from it. Still.
Also,
slow burn.
she was in a. She had underwear bottoms on and nipple covers.
Mm-hmm.
There's pictures of her being
Glad-
painted.
Glad that you
In
looked
case
at
you're
this.
wondering.
Yeah.
Well, we have a book. We both have the same book.
Well, also, if she's wearing underpants, was
Yeah.
she naked in the film, or was she wearing underpants in the film?
I think
Well,
she
the
has
angle
a
they
little-
shoot, there's a thong.
Yeah.
But you can't see it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
with the angle they're
I was going to
shooting.
say,
I just found I did find it really weird that they seem to be very intimate and stoked on each other so quickly. Did you notice that, Allie?
yeah, well, that's because he's crazy.
In
Yeah,
the-
like
in
they
the
were
book,
both like,
they're-
we're gonna. It wasn't just like a quick fuck. It was like we're gonna be here together for a while.
Yeah,
They
they're
were
gonna get some
smooch-smooch.
shampoo.
Yeah,
right?
maybe
shampoo.
Shampoo.
We're gonna-
What are you in,
champagne.
bro?
Cleaning.
And they were like, we're dating now, kind of. And I
Yeah,
was like,
it was an hour later.
Yeah.
And I love how as soon as he was like, I can take you to the finest place in town, I was like, it's going to be his fucking bed, and there's going to be like a plate of sausage or something fucking annoying. Like sausage and oysters next to each other. I was like, I get it, they're fucking. Shut up, 1963.
That is. But back to the beginning of the movie. I do
Sorry.
enjoy seeing
Sorry,
the white
wow.
tuxedo for the
What?
first time.
Yeah. I was thinking there's some reason in the book that I think they're like already dating in the book, and that's why they.
okay.
But not that justifies it. But I can't remember.
No, I did find it surprising that he wasn't just like hitting it and quitting it. He was like, we're gonna hang out here for a while together. I was like, oh, that's nice. And then she was dead, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did notice that he didn't seem to mourn her demise at all.
He never.
or
does.
his poor her sister. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god, that broke my heart. I know we're not there yet.
No.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's talk about James Bond's terry cloth swim robe.
Oh,
Powder blue terry cloth.
it's a
is
onesie.
is a featured thing in these
fantastic.
movies for some reason. It pops up more than is common in life, and it's pretty common in my life. You know?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I have
But
no
it's just
idea. I
such
don't know.
an
Maybe we should talk about
interesting.
it.
I mean, it's so short.
Oh yeah.
he zips himself into a baby onesie and
Yeah.
then is like, who can I kill and fuck? And you're like, this is incongruous
there's
and I
this
can't handle it.
Common thing where just like fans of Bond want the James Bond suit, the car, whatever. I really want.
Oh, but
one of
nobody
those.
wants
I
those.
No, I do. I want to lounge around in a little terry cloth.
People don't
onesie.
wear like the bathing suits that men wore back then. Were
Yeah.
so attractive.
There are pictures of Ian Fleming in that
Yeah.
exact same
Yeah.
thing.
I
I don't
guess
know if
that's
it was
true.
like a thing.
Might have been like the high style, like on the
Yeah.
south of France. That's what you
He was
see
trying,
in the
or he
60s.
was trying to make it a thing.
Yeah, could
He's
be.
trying so hard. Also, I take umbrage with the fact that James Bond immediately makes himself known to Goldfinger.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Just by turning on the. Well, just fucking stay there, watch him.
wait,
Watch him cheat.
Can we agree real quick that he's a really shitty spy to begin with?
That's
Like,
been that's the common.
is it just
problem.
him in this movie, or is
No,
it in all of them?
he does that.
No, all the
before.
time.
He's
He lets
impetuous.
everybody know who he is.
Well, that's the thing about
No,
spies.
no, no. I mean,
is
the fact that he's a shitty to begin with.
he's a shitty spy.
all around.
The
He's
thing about
more
being
lucky than anything.
He's
But
the
the thing
shittiest
about-
in this movie. This
Okay.
movie
Is
very,
he?
very shitty
well,
spy.
toward the whole last half, all he does is get like led around on a chain.
Totally.
You're like, you're
Yeah.
not doing shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Why am I even? Why are you here?
and
Why are
like
you
this
here?
like really lame WWE like wrestling that he does with what's his name? Odd Job.
Odd
job.
Wow, that was like just slit his throat. Like everyone just slit each other's throat, please.
You just want
Everyone.
more knives.
So
I just want more. Like,
I want like a There Will Be Blood like cattle stunner and just get it over with.
Sure,
and let's move on.
exactly.
Is that what that was a cattle stunner, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that-
Cattle prodder.
Why
Oh,
not?
you're talking
the
about
hydraulic,
Yeah.
the air pressure.
that was
cattle
that
gun.
was
No Country for Old
Men.
What did I say? There,
There
whatever.
Will Be Blood.
I
Will Be
drink
Blood.
Same year.
drink your
Same.
fucking milkshake. I don't know which one's what, but I just want them just like an animal, put it and then just move on to the next scene and make this
too.
movie like 45 minutes long. Me too.
why then? The big question. So you guys, this is the only one you guys have seen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So partially to you, partially you. Why is this the favorite James Bond movie? I've never fully understood.
I don't
that.
Kitsch.
get it.
Kitsch?
so much kitsch.
Style and kitsch. I mean, style.
Maybe it's the Aston Martin. Maybe it was like that
I mean,
Superfly
it's
car.
part of it.
It does.
That's
It
part
is
of
like the first of the Bond films where the formula gets solidified, like indelibly. Like this formula is going to repeat for.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I kind of get it because I don't completely hate it.
Here's what helped.
know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what helped this movie reach the pinnacle it reached. The Beatles.
Oh, that
Because
reference he makes?
64, Beatlemania, everyone's into this Britmania.
Uh-huh.
So then James Bond comes out. Everyone's going to be like,
Yeah.
well, let's go see that. It's British.
Yeah. yeah.
And he references the Beatles as
He
he's
does.
getting
Yeah.
down. As
He
he's
does.
Yeah,
getting
because you
down.
don't want to listen to Dom Perignon. You don't want to drink Dom Perignon under 45 degrees or something
It's
like
like
that.
listening to the Beatles
Without
without earmuffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Blue terry cloth earmuffs.
But isn't that funny? That'd be like now someone trying to reference some like cool band.
Yeah.
Do you know? I'm trying to
Yeah.
think who they would if they'd
Well,
be
Lady
like.
Gaga
It's
would
like
never wear
listening to
that.
Justin
Yeah.
Bieber without
know.
earmuffs.
Yeah, because it would have to
Like
be
they
something
didn't know
the
they'd
kids
be
like.
last
Yeah.
forever, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they picked the right band. They could have.
They
It's
did.
like
I know.
listening to Hermits without earmuffs.
That wouldn't have
The
stung.
monkeys, the monkeys
Yeah.
would not have done it.
It's like the Dave Clock 5. Okay. Yeah, over the top karate chop from Odd Job delivered. knocks out James Bond.
I love him so much.
Odd Job.
Odd Job is my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
I want a spin off.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the movie. I sent Matt a clip of that.
Oh god.
Yeah, because I texted him "ha ha" to something he wrote, and he just sent a video clip of Oddjob going.
Okay. He does wear a 3-piece suit with a different colored vest, which I thought was interesting.
Does he?
I didn't
Yeah.
even notice this. If I noticed his clothes, it was like you're gonna get that shit dirty. Like that's all I thought. I never was like, oh, that's a sharp line.
I do like how he finds her dead, so he calls Felix and says the girl's dead, and then he goes,
Which one? The one you
Dink?
spanked on the butt
Yeah.
earlier? No,
Yeah.
that idiot. I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah.
well, she could be anywhere. I don't know.
She got away lucky though. She's like the one female that didn't
Yeah, she made
die.
Yeah. Dink. Yeah.
Yep.
She probably went on to live a long, happy life.
Yeah, she's probably like, fuck that guy. And
Yeah.
then
Dink
she's-
is way hot. I thought.
She's with Odd Job in the end, maybe.
Oh my god! Actually, I did have this like I want to write another fanfic of Odd Job and Pussy Galore like running away and becoming this like. You know those like families of spies that they have cartoons of?
Yeah.
I want them to be like the cutest
I watch
family.
that.
They're cute little kids running. Oh my
It's
god,
adorable.
Isn't it?
Pitching some pretty good stuff in the room.
We
Yeah.
got it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
here for.
Okay, so Dink dies. Not Dink dies. Sorry, Jill. No,
Jill dies.
Masterson.
Jill Masterson.
Yeah.
Tilly is
Tilly's
the
the sister.
Yeah.
I always wanted more of Tilly. She's
Yeah,
in the book
she was
too.
good.
I find
I
her
know.
beautiful.
She was
Yeah.
so
And,
beautiful.
Yeah, I like her. She's got this like aloof demeanor where she's not putting up with his shit, and that you didn't get that early on from any of the girls. You know?
It's called grief. It's called
Yeah.
grief because
I
someone just
suppose.
fucking died.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, you fucked my sister. I care she died to you. And he's like, which one was she?
Oh my.
But the
yeah.
other thing,
Dink.
the thing that pissed me off was Tilly was like, she's a badass. She's
Total badass.
seeking revenge. She has a gun. She's got a Mustang. She drives like an asshole. I like her. And then immediately he's like, oh, you're a shitty shot. I was
Totally.
like, God damn it! I wanted
Yeah.
her to be
Oh,
an
you
awesome
need me.
shot.
You're trying your hardest. Oh, I'm sorry, but you can't do it without me because
Yeah, I
you're
know.
a fucking idiot.
We
I was
have
like,
this.
let her be good with a gun.
We
Yeah.
have this segment on here. We still don't have a name for it, but
Yeah.
at what point does the strongly established feminine character turn into the James, where they just lose everything
Well, you
moment?
remember the grandma shooting a fucking shotgun for some reason?
That was
Yeah.
great.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
that's her.
Can you ship Odd Job and the grandma?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see
Oh, I'd
them.
watch that.
I would watch them slow bone. I'd be like,
Totally.
get into it. Do you know what I mean?
What
Slow bone
was
to
that?
China.
I remember like zoning out at some point. I'm like, okay, they're chasing each other. What the hell is this old lady doing?
Oh my god!
Was that explained and I missed it?
No,
No, she
No.
just
It's
she just lives on that, in that
Okay.
little gatehouse.
Tilly is. I think in the book, Tilly is a lesbian, and I've said this before. Fleming has a huge issue with lesbians, and he
does.
He's always converting them with just a kiss from a man, and but he has some
Well, it works,
real
you guys.
aversion. Have you seen Orange Is the New Black?
Yes,
Of course.
love
So
it.
not the warden, but the guy running,
yeah.
he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing of like just anything as long as you're not a lesbian. You know,
He has
It's
sapphophobia.
oh,
I don't know. I made that up.
Sounds
but
about
I mean,
right, though.
sapphic coming from.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I think that Fleming has something like that. It comes up in his books way too often. And,
Weird.
yeah, he has
Well,
a real homophobia.
His mom
we're
was
going to
probably
address that
lesbian. Yeah, I was
later
gonna
with pussy, but I know it sounds horrible when I just say that, but that's her first name. I'm sorry, guys. Now we find out what his real mission is. So he goes to England, where we meet the most British-looking gentleman I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, God.
The Colonel at the table.
Oh, right.
With his 2 wisps of combed-over hair that he is hanging on to.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
what it
my
looks like.
God.
You guys,
It's
I'm not going to lie.
amazing.
During this part, I opened up another tab and just checked out Pinterest for a couple minutes. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Well, let me tell
eyeglasses
you.
frames.
And my top most English people Pinterest board, he would be number 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
He would
Way
be-
to segue. Way
he'd
to
be
relate the
number
two.
1. Colonel Smithers is his name. You
The
remember
most English sounding name possible.
Little Colonel Smithers. The gold that's worth £5,000.
Yeah, I don't think did it sound like one of them had marble in their mouth the whole time?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
Well,
just
little girl.
Always
so I was
somebody
like, I
does.
don't know. That's why I kind of don't really understand why they were after him, because I didn't really hear it.
It was stuffed with beef Wellington. I feel like
Love a good Wellington.
You just reminded me that his fiance is in the next scene, which makes me want to fucking
whose fiance?
James Bond's like girlfriend who
Oh,
she thinks that's her boyfriend.
Wait, what?
does she?
Moneypenny?
Secretary.
The secretary.
No.
Oh no, it's a game they play.
No.
It's a runs throughout all
Oh,
the
it's
movies.
not.
Yeah.
Are you
no.
sure? Does
Yes.
she know that that's a game?
Yes.
Is
She
she in
knows
on
it's a
it?
game.
They play
She's
this
very
like,
much
oh,
into
I
it.
love you, I love you. I mean, it's still a little twisted
Do
because
they ever do it?
No, they never do.
Oh, good.
I was confused.
Well,
Well, that's right. In Skyfall, the latest one, there's a did they or didn't they
They didn't.
mistake.
Whereas I think she just blew him.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that all? After
So
after
she-
like 35 years or whatever.
Well, Skyfall retcons. So what happens is Skyfall is the introduction of the Moneypenny character.
Oh,
And they make her black. And
That's
she
nice.
is gorgeous.
Cool.
that's good. My thing when I saw the Moneypenny situation is she was wearing like a crew neck shirt, so I was like, oh, so she's not a sex object.
Yep.
Because if he were fucking her, I would be seeing half of her nipples right now. And so I figured maybe she was like,
Do you mean Areola and?
No, it's well known. It's well known that
Half-dome.
Moneypenny has no area.
No, it's a cutoff shirt. It's like a
Yeah.
cutoff shirt with like just a nipple hole in it.
she would just be wearing, she'd be in a sex harness, and I'd be like, oh, he likes her. But since she was in an actual attire, I was like, oh, she's unsexualized.
Or she's a lesbian.
From a
maybe.
somatic sense, but I figured that she was trying to get him married, or she was like the wife of
Yeah,
someone he
me
knew.
too.
I was
Oh.
like, he doesn't want to bang her, or
So
else I'd be
even,
seeing her
like,
butt
just
cheeks.
Pop culturally, you guys didn't really have a sense of who Moneypenny was.
I had no
Really?
fucking
That's
idea.
Interesting. This is good.
No.
This is good.
It's like Gilligan. We just got back from Gilligan's Island, and we're like, "What's James Bond?"
Wow. I'm trying to think of what other things,
I'm
what
not- I'm
conventions we could
Marianne.
ask them.
You
that they-
both have
Ginger.
been fighting for the Japanese and been in a cave.
It
for
is
the
weird
last
that one of
45
us
years.
is a redhead and one of us is a brunette and pigtails right now.
Yeah,
We're
one of us
basically-
is very ginger.
Yeah, really. That's right.
Get it?
No, we've been eating coconut pies.
Oh, I'm dressed like the professor right now.
Oh my god, no,
You
that's
actually
Gilligan,
are.
bro.
Well,
No, that's professory.
I,
Yeah.
I had a button up on earlier. I swear.
That's true. Got to get the howls up in this
I like
place.
how you had corduroys and a button up on.
Corduroys and a button up. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you
You
guys are such a
guys.
cute couple.
We're the best.
Twinsies.
Okay, now we come to James Bond has some Nazi gold.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite kind of gold.
Yeah, he's gonna
Rose gold, no. Nazi gold,
Nazi
yes.
gold. Boom.
Do not propose to me unless it's the Nazi gold ring, 'cause
Yeah.
I will say no.
Note taken.
And a blood diamond.
And a blood
Yeah.
diamond.
And this is how he's gonna get in with Goldfinger somehow. So they go play golf. Guys, did you know that what you're seeing with Goldfinger is what I think is the best overdubbing ever done in a movie?
Oh, is that what that was?
What's going on?
That's not his voice. The actor that plays Goldfinger.
And most of the women in the
The
first
whole-
few films
the whole
are
movie.
dubbed as well.
That is not his voice.
What did he know that was going to happen to him? I always
No,
wonder.
He didn't,
No.
but
the actor's like, what the hell? I'm not Austrian.
it's
Why-
crazy. In the German version, he dubbed his own voice back as well. Did you know that?
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
love it.
he's German. Why did they do this?
His accent was way too thick.
Oh.
He lied about whether or not he could speak English. like where his agent lied for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And then they hired him based on his performance in a German movie.
Oh my fucking
Where he plays
God.
it like a pedophile.
You guys,
right?
that is
Yeah.
diabolical.
Or he
I feel
plays
like that's what a
pedophile.
James Bond villain would do.
Yes. This
But I also like the
part of
fact
his
that they're
audition.
like, well, we'll just overdub it. Let him go.
all the girls are overdubbed except for Pussy Galore.
Oh, yeah?
All of them?
Through it goes the third one, this one, Pussy Galore, she's not dubbed, and then Diana Rigg in On Her Majesty's Secret Service is not, but all the way up through Diamonds Are Forever, they're all dubbed.
Do they have a man dub
I know,
her
I was
voice,
just
like in Shakespearean times? Like, no female actors. Like, why do they dub them? Just to make them less
well,
human?
I'm not. Well, it's usually
Thanks,
an
guys.
accent issue because Ursula Andress was Swedish, the Russian girl was Italian, and their accents
Why
were too
didn't they
thick.
cast
But I can't-
legitimate what they wanted?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
But
think they
even
were
Natalie
really
Wood's
just going
sister
on
gets
look.
dubbed, and I don't know what the reason for that one
Oh,
is.
Lana.
Yeah, Lana Wood.
God.
This is complicated.
That's another thing is I was watching this.
Wendy O'Toole.
And I was like, how I again in my notes just wrote how much did this cost? With like so many O's. I just looked at it.
That's a good question.
Well, how much does this fucking thing cost? Even all the extras, all of like having a burning Mercedes like careen down a dry grass hillside, like all of that. I'm like, what is the? And not to mention, don't think I wasn't thinking about what the craft service was like on this because I was like, was it shitty because they spent all
I
their
can
money?
speak to that.
Or was it good?
It's
can you speak to that?
because the Broccoli's who produced this film treat everything like a family. Like the crew moves from movie to movie to movie, and they're all
Wow.
family, and they bring in really nice food. And one time they were filming in like Saudi Arabia,
That was
or
in
Tunisia
Cairo.
or something. Cairo.
Was it
And
Ishtar? 'Cause that's a good movie too.
He personally made pasta for all the crew and everything because the food was making everybody
Except for
sick
the
and-
women.
Cubby Broccoli.
The women were allowed to eat.
Yeah.
This series is
But
now
now also
run by a woman.
Yes, his
Oh.
daughter, and she
Barbara.
runs the whole thing. We're big fans of
Yeah,
hers.
she's a looker. We've already.
Well, she's more than a looker.
Is
though.
that
She's
why you're a
just-
big fan of hers? Because she's you guys.
No,
that was the
I'm-
most misogynist thing that you
Yeah.
said.
Was it? No.
Yeah.
Where she
She's
runs a whole production,
beautiful.
and I like her because she's got great tits.
Hot. She's hot.
Thanks, guys.
She is a
That's not-
beautiful 60-year-old woman.
Okay.
As long as she's pretty, because throw them on the trash heap if they're not. Am I right?
Well,
God
in
forbid she's
fairness, I think
talented,
most
yet
of the
ugly.
creative is done by Michael G. Wilson, her stepbrother.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think she does.
I
anything
heard that they
creative.
swap movies, and that's
What?
That's why I'm prepared to believe Casino Royale is so good and Skyfall was so good, and the other one wasn't. Because I'm not a huge fan of Michael G. Wilson. If I'm gonna be honest,
Is he
in this
ugly?
room
Is he
right
Do
now.
not.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, look, I didn't.
He's not. A
I know you
great-looking
didn't.
This guy
guy.
did.
He's not a great-looking guy.
It's Matt, not Matt said that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
He is great. You should see the dong on him. I'm a fan of his work. He's got a great dick.
Okay, come on.
He has some of the prettiest balls in the business.
Who does?
I don't know, just anyone that you're a fan of. Spielberg, great dick. You should see it.
Is his dick
perfectly
good?
proportioned.
I
I don't know. I'm just saying that
I'm
she's being
questioning it.
Facetious.
Oh well, I wouldn't get offended if you thought someone's dick looked great.
No, I'm just
You
saying
can
that
mention it
if you're going to talk
immediately.
about the merits of a filmmaker or producer, perhaps something physical isn't the first thing you would point out.
Well, it depends on who you're talking about.
I'm going to sit out. You and I, let's sit out this conversation.
Go get a quick drink.
You two go.
Like if you're talking about like Harvey Weinstein, I would the first thing I would mention
Great
is,
pair of tits.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'd say that about Harvey.
I
Yeah.
would say that.
His ovaries
But
are
I think
stunning.
if you guys listen back, I believe there is an episode. Oh, I don't know. Was it this podcast where I went on a long run about Barbara Broccoli?
I think so.
Barbara Broccoli sounds
I
like
have
the
a
worst
crush.
Bond girl ever.
I have a huge crush on Barbara Broccoli.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were just
Gassy.
And
mentioning
it's a
that.
previously established thing.
That's true. I get what he's saying.
It is canonical that I would mention that.
All right.
It's part of your crush, not part of why you think she's talented.
Correct.
She is talented, flat out. She's
Sure,
an
sure,
amazing producer. She
I'm also
happens to be
confused.
attractive.
I'm also confused by her accent, but that's beside the
Can we
point.
talk about Barbara Broccoli as a Bond girl, though? Just like always shitting her teeth. She's vegan and really high maintenance.
Smells a little.
Farty
all
as
the
fart.
time. Just she's in a bikini, but she looks like 7 months pregnant because she's so
bloated.
gassy. Barbara Broccoli. A grill full of green.
She's just
I'd hit that.
painted green to death.
When
like the
people,
Jolly
when
Green
people
Giant.
she kills, they're just like this weird tint of green.
I'm into it. She farts them to death.
Oh god, she gasses them.
I'm
They
sorry,
are the
Barbara
Sorry, you
Broccoli.
guys. No, I'm sorry that you guys invited two people on who don't know anything about it.
No, but you
It's
watched
fine.
the movie.
This
This
is
is perfect.
No, we know things about Bond. We know it sucks.
All right,
We
you
know
don't-
that we
you don't
watched
mean that.
1.5 hours of Bond.
Oh,
and it's not to our
You
liking.
watched a shorter version of the movie?
How long was
this
it?
movie and this era
2:20?
is different than other eras, and I'm not saying every era doesn't have its downfall, but they do change quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As a child, I was always fascinated by the golf scene.
I still am for some reason. I'm not really a golfer.
I loved the caddy.
Yeah.
You crafty old.
Yeah, because he seems like he's out of a
It's Your Honor, sir.
1920 movie. 1920s
Oh my
movie.
I
God,
know.
do I love that gentleman.
He's like My Fair Lady, kind of.
He's playing a Schlesinger 7, boss. He's got
That's a Schlesinger 7.
Yeah.
Goldfinger plays a Schlesinger 1.
Oh, you crafty old devil.
Then we've got him, sir. We've just said all of his lines.
Thank you.
He tries to endear himself to Bond, like, we're a team, right, buddy? What are we going to do after this, huh?
I'll never see him again. Like hot wings?
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
Let's go to the country club. They got great
Shall
hot
we go to
wings.
the 19th hole, boss?
Yeah.
I just was always fascinated by the strict rules of golf.
Yeah, I didn't follow it completely.
must
I don't
have-
understand golf, but it did
You
seem
must
very.
have played the wrong ball somewhere on the 18th.
I play a Schlesinger.
So that Randy, you got to write me a check. That was weird
Yeah.
too. Like Bond doesn't need a check from you.
Yeah,
he
that
doesn't.
made it seem like he was like collecting child support.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they did
Dealing cash,
They
fuckers.
did have a wager.
It was a principle thing. Like
How
you
much
had
money
to
was
kind of
it?
embarrass him a little bit.
I get it, but
5,000 pounds?
I can't remember.
you know what? More embarrassing.
It was the cash
keep
equivalent.
it. I don't even need it. That would.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
I know.
Boom.
Yeah.
He should have, he should have like crumpled it up or
Yeah.
ate it and
Yeah.
shit it on
He
him.
should have done
or-
it when Odd Job crushes the ball. He should
Totally.
have taken
Yeah.
a check and then went, oh, wait.
Yeah, I needed that for my actual child support. 'Cause I
I
have 13 children around the.
Are we? I feel like is this the most vitriolic podcast
Oh,
you've
yeah,
ever
by
done?
far, by far.
I
Are we
mean,
gonna
Yeah,
get
but it
I
won't-
feel like we're going to get a lot of Nerdist
It
people
will not
hating
be
us.
the...
You shouldn't.
No,
I've said the F word a lot, you guys.
Doesn't
That's all
matter.
right.
We
All
say
right.
it
But I
plenty.
really do. I texted Allie earlier. I'm like, we're going to get a lot of new enemies.
I don't care.
from this.
No,
I will
I
say
don't
right
think-
now,
why would
do
you do
not,
that?
Fucking
do
assholes.
not write disparaging things. If you're thinking that, then that's an issue.
Oh, I don't
Obviously-
care.
No, I do.
I don't care if anyone.
Write it
If
to
someone,
Allie, not to George,
if
like,
someone,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah. I'm
comment
fragile.
at me, bro. Like if someone doesn't like that I don't appreciate like antique misogyny, then they can fuck
Okay, but
themselves so
let's
much.
not anticipate
With their gold
animosity
fingers.
right away
I'm
because
just
we're just
saying.
having a spirited conversation.
Yeah,
where
I'm just
I
defending-
like it. I like this sort of thing where it
Yeah,
comes
but a
from
lot
all
of people
angles.
get real. You're secure in your bondhood, and I think a lot of people.
No, I don't care.
All right.
We have every right to
I
say
agree.
disparaging things about things that we find to be disparaging.
Yeah.
So does that? Yeah, sure.
But on a podcast that is directly
absolutely.
for the love of.
I take it on faith that a lot of our listeners understand that this
Yeah.
series is flawed. That is certainly why we love it, because there are certain movies and scenes that we love and certain ones that can't believe past muster.
Yeah.
Like some of these movies are
When we get to die
legitimately
another day,
horrible.
If I can say though, also if this were like a breakfast at Tiffany's, if you guys had a Capote cast,
Sure.
I think it'd be hilarious to discuss how fucked up Breakfast at Tiffany was.
Talking
Tiffany's
Truman.
was
Talking Truman.
talking.
Talking Truman, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Truman talk.
Truman Capote.
Yeah,
Capote,
I just keep thinking of like a pod Capote. That's just
Chat
like-
Pody. No,
We'll
that
talk
doesn't
about
work.
it.
Kapodcast.
I'm just saying, like, there you go. But it's just funny to look at. It's,
Truman Capote.
well, it's funny to me.
Can we change this podcast real quick? 'Cause that
in
is
cold
happening.
pod.
Sorry, go ahead.
You guys.
We
I
can't stay
promise.
mad at each other.
No, we can't. I love Bond.
I hate it. This is
great.
That's
bullshit.
what I kind of like about James Bond in general, and I don't mind saying this, is because I've never spoken to anyone who's like, no, it's great, it's great, and it's a beautiful film. No, everyone's like, it's crazy and kind
Yeah.
of corny and silly, but also made well and funny and sticks with its
Yeah,
whatever the
it's a
fuck.
phenomenon in and
Yeah.
of itself, for
So
better or for worse.
It's not
It
like
just is.
I'm insulting like
I find it interesting coming at it from your angle of being, adult women in 2013 and watching 1963.
Right.
And whereas I find it batshit crazy that it would slap her in the ass and say man talk.
totally.
But then there's a part of me that goes like, that's charming.
Whoa.
In the way that I find Mad Men charming sometimes. You know what I mean?
As
Well-
a film, not as that concept of slapping a girl on the butt.
Right,
is charming.
right,
Well, the thing
yeah.
about Mad Men is
Like
then-
I find it charming that they didn't know any better.
well, the thing about Mad Men though is then they would then follow Dinkhead. What was her name?
Dink.
Dink.
Did you call her Dinkhead?
Which actually would make more sense.
Yeah.
That they would then follow her and her life and what it's like to be Dink instead
Yeah.
of like there
Right,
she goes
right.
running on.
Yeah.
She'll take
Yeah.
but which I do. Also
But female
find funny.
characters are very disposable in this
That's
series.
why I loved Pussy Galore, because
Yeah.
she was a friggin' badass.
Well, yeah, that was the redemption. That was like the third act redemption where you're like, okay, I guess.
There's always one badass girl.
All right.
when do I
That
get
may
a
be part of the
chance-
reason why this film is heralded, is because it is the first one to have the Bond girl play a pivotal role in like saving the day, and she's kind of more fully developed, even if she gets day raped in a barn.
I was gonna say she was
Yeah.
fucking mouth raped.
Yeah.
In horrible pants.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing. Where I was like, can they get her in some
That's-
decent
I like how it
fucking
was the
pants?
same. It was the same cut pattern for all her colors of pants.
There
you
were like
know-
these saggy bottom jodhpurs, and I was like, get this woman some good pants.
That is rape right there.
Saggy
Is putting
bottom
her in
job
those.
first.
They were not okay.
She's the oldest at the
Yeah, I
time,
love
the oldest
that.
actress to ever play a Bond girl to this date, 37.
Wait,
Really?
She
Yeah.
was 37?
Mm-hmm.
She seemed a little older.
Yeah.
On
They
the
all,
black man.
all actors do from that era. They seem, because
Oh,
Connery's
yeah.
only like 35 in
Are you
this movie.
kidding
yeah,
me?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
It's the damn son that they like
Yeah.
to.
I know.
soak
And
up.
M is 17. Can you believe
It's
that?
amazing.
What?
It
Who?
really looks
the
great.
old guy. I'm kidding. What was I going to
With,
say?
like,
Oh,
blue?
she's amazing in like behind the scenes features. She's one of my favorite people. She's just the way she's so, I don't know. She knew how to take that role on early on and just be like, it's called Pussy Galore. Let's get over with it.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love that she's like,
She's brassy.
when do I get a chance in my life to say to someone, I'm immune to that? Save your fucking charm.
Yeah.
I'm immune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but she's not immune. She's like, JK, you're going to rape me in a second.
Yeah, as soon as you kiss
know what
me,
I mean?
I'm all yours. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, that's actually
Takes
fake
a few
armor.
kisses though, right? Doesn't
I
it?
guess.
It
Well-
takes him. She's in a fucking headlock in the barn.
The worst to me, obviously, it's a horrible situation the way she converts. But when they do these shoulder twists and throw each other over into the hayloft, this music is like this. It's almost like a fairy is
so
converting her
whimsy.
to
Glitter should come out of
heterosexuality.
the
Yeah,
ground.
you're better off being heterosexual. Let's find a pot of gold.
This is
And,
playful, you
That was like a musical shrug. In a sense, it's like, oh well.
Can I admit something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I think I missed this entire scene. I think I must have gotten up.
Oh shit.
I just
You
thought
would
they didn't
remember.
do it to the end.
You would
I'm
remember.
not even kidding you.
No, he puts her in a pile of horse
After
manure.
they land and the
and-
little ding dongs riding the planes all run up to her. After that,
Yeah.
I was making chili, and I must have
You know what else you
got
missed?
onion in my eye.
We
And,
should compare chili recipes.
okay,
Can we discuss? Did you miss the whole like shittiest julep ever scene? Because
Well-
they're drinking juleps, and
yeah.
I was like,
Look
what
how
the
my-
fuck is with those proportions? And also, why is there no ice in that?
Okay, but so now, sorry,
That's
but do you have-
cocktail.
there's got to be some willing suspension of disbelief in this whole film because I mean, obviously he couldn't survive any of this stuff, so some of it you got to give some license. I'm not talking about like the bullshit misogyny, but mint juleps and gunshots and stuff like that. It's a comic movie, but look at my last note.
mint juleps! Exclamation mark!
But it wasn't
exclamation
because
mark.
I realized that they were doing it wrong. It was I had checked out so much that I was like, all I could think about is I want a mint julep.
Mint julep.
Yeah.
We should have made you one.
You know who makes
Yeah.
a hell of a mint julep? Bloodsoes.
Really?
La Brea. They have a really
Oh,
good
really?
mint julep.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
They guess you know who doesn't? James Bond movies. They have shitty.
So what is the problem?
Here's what.
It's,
Here's
first of all, it's not in a silver julep container.
It's
no.
not in a sterling
she's
silver.
getting major Jeffrey Boothroyd right here,
which
is
is what they
this
serve
thing-
it in at Bloodsoes.
Well, no, it should be a mint julep is traditionally served in a sterling silver
We
cup.
make cocktails for a living.
For a
just
living.
FYI for those people.
Yeah,
who
I
don't
know,
listen.
I know.
It
yeah.
should be like floor of the cup to the top, crushed ice, and they had like a couple of shitty ice cubes
Over the top, even.
Yeah,
But is there?
floating up top. They did not look like they had enough mint. It did not look like it had been crushed, and it was a glass. It was like a Collins glass. It was like super tall and watery, and I was like a julep is like essentially bourbon, a little bit of sugar, mint, and then the ice kind of melts in it. Sort of like that's kind of what mixes it all. But this is what the fuck was this?
Plus, it
was
didn't
like,
need to be a julep. It could have been just been a cocktail.
It
I
looked
feel
like
like
iced tea, but
if
they were
there's
no,
a-
they
they
were
were
in
in
Kentucky.
Kentucky, so-
if there's a
had to
section
be.
where
Okay,
negative
missed that
comments
part
are going to
too.
come, this may be it because there's going to be some guy who goes, well, in Kentucky in the 60s, they
yeah.
did a Collins glass is a traditional Kentucky dairy.
That I'm willing to learn.
Okay.
That I'm willing to learn.
I don't know that, but I am worried that there is going to be some, even if it's not even true, someone will find some arcane section of the internet and,
I might be wrong, but the
Yeah.
other thing is it would look way more dope if they were all drinking from sterling silver cups.
Yeah.
Although it was it was Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have had gold cups.
No, it was gold on the plane. He brought him a
that's
martini
right,
and it was
yeah.
in a gold glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, P.S. He's an alcoholic. What?
Oh, for sure. I'm drinking for 3.
Yeah.
PPS, I love the pervy bathroom.
I know.
Oh, God.
Fucking spy hole.
Oh, yeah.
For whoever's in the bathroom.
Can we talk about her American Apparel shirt? Like the stewardess who had a long sleeve turtleneck that came right below the boobs. I was
Yeah.
like, I think I
Oh,
saw
I
that
don't
at American
remember.
Apparel. Like it's gold lame. It's like the worst.
remember.
I liked her.
Oh, how can you not remember that? It's egregious. I mean, it's
Because I don't see gender.
no.
I'm so afraid on
no,
this
it was
podcast right
unless
now
there are
that I-
nipple cutouts. you
No,
don't
it was
see gender.
egregious from like a fashion
Was
standpoint,
it?
not
I
misogyny.
don't remember, though. I honestly don't.
I don't remember that outfit either.
I remember it.
Is it long sleeve turtle?
It's a long sleeve
Yeah, she has,
turtleneck
like,
that
a
goes
white-
right
Which is
below the
fashion
bust.
forward to begin
Wow.
with.
It looks like something someone would
Fashion
like
sideways.
selfie on Instagram and be like outfit of the day. You're like, oh, that looks so
High-waisted shorts.
Who are you following
Yes.
that's posting outfits
Yeah,
of
really.
the day?
It's
Well,
a
the
hate
best actress
follow.
from the
Yeah.
movie.
It's a hate follow. It's not a legit
I
follow.
love hate
Yeah, that's
follows.
true.
Yeah, we do.
I love hate follows.
Okay, what else do you guys want to tell us about this?
Well, first of all, we skipped the iconic James Bond laser scene.
oh yeah.
Which in the
Jeez.
book was a buzzsaw.
Was he supposed to? I have
I
a
enjoyed
question
the
about
laser.
this.
Yeah.
Was he
Me too.
supposed to get killed, or was Goldfinger really just like, oh, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to kill you?
He wanted him. He was going to dispose of him.
Then
right?
why didn't
Yeah.
he just leave?
Well, this is getting to the heart of major errors in the villains of the Bond series. And at the time, it seems so cliche now because they'd also monologue and go, I'm going to kill you, but first I want to tell you my plan.
Sure.
So that's become a horrible cliche now. But this was kind of the series that started that. So it maybe didn't seem as weird back
Yeah.
then. It's another thing, same as the other things. It's just a holdover for something.
I
that-
don't mind
Gert was of
any
the
of
time.
that, and I don't mind that he's like, oh no, I'm really going to try to make you talk, which he doesn't talk. He doesn't tell me he knows anything. But yeah, I wasn't clear.
Why leave him?
It's
weird.
Gert Frobe does a couple of nuancy things with his performance that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he does is his dismissive eye rub.
Oh,
Yeah, now that you
he
say
just-
that, yeah.
He just like does this
Like,
a lot.
oh god.
Like that's his move.
That's
I
right.
own the club. Just like
yeah.
walks away.
super cash.
Is that the actor or the character? Like, or is it just the actor going,
The actor has something in his eye the entire.
It's,
The actor's
no, and,
bored.
and he does it again when he's walking up the stairs and Bond's on the thing. He does the eye rub and then the dismissive eye rub, which I don't know. It's just a fun little nuanced performance thing that I really like.
Maybe you should
Oh.
adopt it and start doing it yourself.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
you just did it to
Good.
me.
He's
Great.
you're
good.
gonna get so much pink eye just from the advocacy. You're gonna actually need to do that.
I thought you were going to say you're going to get so much.
Pink eye galore. Well, you know what's funny is when they're in that club and then all of a sudden it turns into like a laserium or whatever, and like all of the windows shut. And I love how there are all these like Americans who are supposed to be air quotes from Kentucky, and they're like, "Hey, boss, what are you doing
Oh,
over
they're
there?"
my
Oh, those
favorite.
They're supposed to be like
Those
Atlantic
are
City
the
mobsters.
Yeah.
those are the
They are
mobsters
the
from all over the
that
country.
was my favorite.
Yeah,
It was
no less
so good.
stereotypical.
Okay, okay.
Stereotype there was that those dudes were my favorite. They were
Do you
like,
know who one of them is?
who?
No.
Gary Marshall. Did
Shut
you know that?
up.
What?
He
How
has
did
a
that
line.
happen?
He's
You
uncredited. He has a line,
motherfucker.
and I don't know if I read it somewhere. I'm like, no way. All right, that does seem like him. And then you go on Gary Marshall's IMDb.
What's his
Have
line?
you read his book?
I can't remember. Gary Marshall?
Yeah.
No. I
It's
was an
called
uncredited
My-
Bob.
It's called My Hollywood Happy Days or something like
Oh
that.
no.
It's I've started reading it, but that is not in there yet.
Well, one
But
of
I'm
the
looking forward to it.
reasons.
Penny Marshall's book. I'm just throwing this out here. This is unrelated.
Oh, is it good?
Read Penny Marshall's book.
What is that one?
It's
It's
called
come out
My
recently,
Mother is
right?
Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I fucking loved it. Anyway,
One of the reasons, personally, why I love this series is the production design. And so that room where all those mobsters are in, and the fact that a pool table moves and becomes
Hey,
a model
what's
of
that?
Fort
Hidden
Knox.
pool table over
Yeah.
here. Oh my god,
There's
those were
no
so good.
reason for it
And
whatsoever.
no, the narrative that all of those guys had to do, like, why is there lights
Yeah.
turning off? Like, they're narrating the entire movie and they're shitty.
what would he
Oh,
have
so
done
good.
if multiple people wanted to go back to the airport?
I felt so bad for that guy. And then he's like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, that's a good idea, but you're going to
I
get
know.
murdered
and
into a
that
little
happens like
box.
4 times in different movies, the same exact thing. Like they
P.S.
just replay that.
Don't go.
Really?
Yeah.
One guy goes.
Yeah, he'll be like, I'm not into this. And then he'll die in a weird way, like a guy falls out of a
Yeah.
blimp. And
Guy falls out of a
in
blimp in View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, he's
goodness.
walking down the stairs, and the stairs turn to a ramp. and
Oh, I've
slides
seen a
out.
clip of
Yeah.
that in my lifetime. Yeah.
But this production design, I can't get enough of it because
It's
it's so
very
heightened.
Bond.
Yeah, and it's wood and steel. It's all done by the
No,
same
the floor's
guy.
moving. Why is the floor moving?
I know it makes no sense, but
It's so good.
that's the cartoony.
Well, here's the
part
part
of it that I just
that's
can't get
fascinating to
enough
me is that pool table situation, that room, really only exists for this specific moment.
Exactly.
Like,
well, yeah, it's
the
It's a set
character of
design.
Goldfinger was
Yeah.
like, let's go nuts.
Let's do this.
First of all, he
Let's
starts
do it right.
rubbing his eyes.
Yeah, like
I
he
want a place I
designed.
can play
goes-
billiards, but
goes,
also lay out my diabolical plan.
Someone says to him, where are we going to put the model? Under the pool table.
Where are you going?
A, he's going to be like outie in like a couple days, and
Yeah.
B, has probably not been staying. He just got in that day, didn't he?
Yeah, and this
So
is all
he
in
hasn't
Kentucky, and he
overseen
lives
any of
in
this.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Geneva.
But he also,
Yeah.
I mean, he studs horses.
I'll bet.
Oh, that's right. I
does he?
forgot he studs horses.
Yeah,
does.
he like makes love connections with horses.
I love that there's like a bunch of pussy and studs in this movie.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Come on, repressed 1963. Let's get it on.
I also enjoy that Felix, James Bond's a captive at this point.
Yeah.
He is
Oh, yeah.
underneath
As
the
he
Kentucky
often is.
building.
Looking great, chilling out.
CIA obviously is there to watch him, but what is the CIA doing? They are at
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh my god, that was made me so. That was the one part of the movie where I got excited. That was the one part I was like, oh my god.
They're eating a bucket of
I
chicken.
was making the chili, and I was like, oh, they're Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Retro Kentucky. Fried
Super
Chicken,
excited.
too, yeah.
I get super excited about that. Is that weird?
Well, that's been the most relatable part of the film, is like getting a bucket of chicken. You're like, done that. Everything else, you're like, what the fuck, man?
Who hasn't? Okay.
sorry if
Also,
I'm
the
eating
CIA.
it.
Don't worry about it. It's delicious.
It's so good.
Thank you.
Did we announce what these are on the podcast? What these
No,
are?
you don't have to.
These are so good.
It's a chocolate-covered matzah with sweetened shredded coconut on
Man,
it.
you are
Boom.
singing my song.
It's good. It's one of our holiday recipes.
Snacks, like a good bitch.
Yeah,
If we didn't bring a
actually-
snack, you could have spanked us.
I was a little like, wait, am I bringing snacks to men right now? This is I
Guys,
can't do this.
where's the hairbrush?
Oh, well, sometimes she needs it.
If she deserves it, yeah.
Sure.
God.
I don't understand it. I really don't understand.
Most of those people
that
are all dead
time.
now. But I mean, people are still terrible.
Not most. All of those people are dead.
This is what incenses me about this is like if misogyny weren't such a big deal currently, then this film wouldn't piss me off so much. But it's like even looking at the shitty like Miley Cyrus situation where no one was like, hey, Robin Thicke, you're married, why are you shoving your penis against this girl who's 20 who's an idiot? Like no one asked him what he was doing at the VMAs or whatever. Like there's still horrible, that's a terrible example, but there's still like horrible misogyny and women don't have the
So
same
you could be like,
opportunities.
oh,
So
this
it's
is so quaint that that's how it used to be, but it's no, it's still kind of
no,
like
it's still like that. Like it's still like that in everywhere.
They'd be like, oh, it's cute that racism happened back then because it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, you're like-
Everyone's equal now.
No, it still does.
It's-
Like even if you were to analyze current movies now, you would see that the damsel's usually in distress, and that there's usually a woman torn between two terrible men, and like look at all the anti-heroes that we were just talking about on cable. Like it's just like you're like, ugh, it's not over.
We're all Skylar Whites when it comes down to it. Still, am I right, you guys?
I'm doing a hell of a job
Yeah.
with that car wash, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's killing it.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I felt that way when you talked about the VMAs.
Oh, you didn't
No,
mind?
I think we're the two people that didn't bother.
Really?
Don't bother.
It's just the
I
thing.
just saw that video for the first time ever. The Blurred
so
Lines
s-
video.
I've never seen
Well,
it.
the
seen
reason
video.
why the VMAs were noteworthy is because it was a top story on CNN, like the day that we were like also discussing gassing thousands of people in Syria. So the fact that that's on people's minds.
Well, I thought they were related. I thought Miley was going to guess.
I was on a
It's just
treadmill
misplaced gas.
yesterday at the gym, and they were showing the video of like all the gas people. Like,
Oh, I
the
saw that.
sad- The
Oh.
kids getting the water washing out their eyes and stuff like that. I'm like, why?
They should have had Pussy Galore switch the gas at the last minute, you guys.
No,
Am I right?
Barbara Broccoli should have not gassed ever. Oh, wow.
This has come full circle from chemical weapons and warfare back to James Bond.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah. that's-
I couldn't ignore the look at it, how you're exterminating people like cockroaches. Oh, look, it's a current problem. But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I love that it
Yeah.
turns out. Are we at that part yet where they've decided to
can be.
switch the gas?
Hang on, no.
Oh, no.
Well, a couple things I just wanted to point out. The amount of time spent on the car crusher crushing that Lincoln.
Oh,
my
so
God.
they loved that.
They
Like,
spent
the- we-
$30,000 or whatever the
you
equivalent of that
serious?
is
Yeah.
on the car. They bought the car brand new. Ford wouldn't give them one.
I hate
So they bought
them.
that car brand new, and
Did
then
you know
they crushed it.
they wanted to have Bond drive a Jaguar first, and they wouldn't give it to him,
Yeah.
and that's why the Aston Martin.
You
I
guys,
was
there would
wondering
be
that.
so much more blood.
I know.
Where
That's
was the blood?
If you crush a human being that's a sack of blood and
and then
guts,
why didn't they just leave it there? Why did they take it with them?
What's he going to do? And also, what's he going to do
because he
with a
wanted
car?
to extract his gold. Instead of just having Oddjob pull the gold out of the trunk.
Right.
Before the fucking... Because what they... Remember, because he gives him the gold, and then they need to, like, extract the gold. That's why he brings the cube back. So instead of just grabbing the case when you get out of the car, have a good time, no. He decides,
disbelief
let's make it grow.
not suspended. There.
Then I like how when she slips into something more comfortable, we're back now. Pussy Galore and James are going to hang out for the afternoon, apparently.
I guess so.
Goldfinger's like, Pussy, you're on that.
Yeah.
Get on this. So she changes, but she just puts on a purple version of her outfit.
Exactly.
I didn't notice that. She looks like the Joker.
No, it's the same. Literally,
It's the same
it's the
exact
same
cut.
outfit.
That's all
Same
she
fabric.
has. Well, you know,
You
when
guys,
you,
purple relaxes you. It's been shown in psychological studies. No, I have no idea what I'm I just don't. You know what kind of bothered me about that is that Pussy Galore is a trained pilot. She teaches people how to do that, but her job is also to slow bone a captive.
Yeah.
No,
She's like a fluffer. in
find
this.
someone else to
think
do
she
that.
was
well, was he not giving her the job because he's kind of probably going like, she'll never switch over? I thought that was the way. Like he knows she's a lesbian.
I feel like he was
He's
like, she is not going to enjoy
this way he can't
No.
seduce her like he
His
probably would someone
charms.
else. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a bummer that I didn't realize she was supposed to be a lesbian. I thought she was just
I
a
didn't
strong
either.
female
Oh
character.
no,
Me
she's
too.
she's well, in the book she is at least.
I hate it more now.
Yeah, no, she's...
I told you he has a real
she is
problem
like
with
nailing
lesbians.
her entire flight school.
Wait, so
Oh.
instead of just being like, "Oh, this chick's got it together, man. She's got a job," it's like, "Oh no."
I didn't know she was a lesbian until later in life when I
Yeah, I
read
didn't
that
either.
she was
I
supposed to be a
love your
lesbian.
later-
But why does it make her
Yeah.
less developed to be a lesbian? Or
Because of course she's an other in terms of like female strength, because she doesn't need a man because she has eschewed like the phallus in general. That's why she's powerful. But if you're like do you know what I mean? Like she's
guess.
because she's
She
like
just
an angry
wasn't
lesbian.
into James Bond because he's a creep.
Yeah.
just because he's a creep, not because she doesn't like D.
So when she said she was immune to him,
I thought she just meant
we
like,
didn't realize
I'm
she
not
was
an
like,
idiot.
No, I like vaginas too. Because
I
that's
didn't know that either. I
That's
didn't
not
get
a
that.
character strength. That's just a preference of genitals.
Yeah, and like the only
So
way
angry.
to get a lesbian to turn is by forcing yourself upon her, and then she'll learn that she likes D.
I did.
On a stud farm. You horse rape her on a stud farm.
I did write down.
I'm sorry,
I
guys.
wrote down whimsical Disney string hits during the fight,
Word.
and then I also wrote down it's only rape for the first 4/5 of the scene.
Oh,
jeez.
jeez.
Yeah, that's actually a really like, a prevalent thing in a lot of old movies where it's like it's rapey until she falls for it,
Yeah.
and then it's not rapey
Until
anymore.
she can no longer resist.
Yeah, it's like it's rapey until she's like, well, I can get hurt, or I can just let you
Acquiesce.
pretend like I'm into this. So it's not rape anymore because you're. Oh God, we're getting real deep. Aren't
You
we?
guys.
No, I mean
can
it's
go.
interesting. Go ahead.
Go.
This is James Bond. We need to know. We're bonding.
Okay,
we're James Bond.
Allie, what do you got?
Oh, no. Apparently I wrote, and mouth raping her. He's not a stable individual to horse around with. Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Wait, you wrote that, or that's in the movie?
No, I wrote that in my notes because
'Cause
apparently I was
either
so
way,
bored.
That could be in a
Either
movie.
way, yeah.
I was so bored that I started making
deadly.
horse puns during a rape scene.
I would
is
also like
deadly.
to point out that they have they put on the gas masks, the crew that's gonna break into Fort Knox. But what I think is adorable is that they put the gas masks on and then put their hats back on over the gas masks. It's
Yeah.
so cute. They all struggle to put it back on over the thing. It's like, what is this aesthetic? Why do we need their fucking hats on?
I did decide that if I ever get invited to a James Bond party, like your 41st birthday party, I am going to dress as one of the minions, the little quote unquote Asian.
Oh, I believe they're called
minions.
Oriental at this
Oriental,
time period.
The gray pajamas, the
Yeah.
yellow sash.
That's a good outfit.
That's my outfit.
I'm gonna get a gold tuxedo.
There was a.
I'm going as a grandma with the machine gun.
Me too. There is a moment. At what point is there like dancing girls in this movie? Is
Well, at the beginning, there's the belly.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there's
Is it
also
that?
at the
It's not
pool.
that.
There's
I
dancing
can't
girls at
remember.
the pool.
There's a
isn't
point
there?
where the score's all like spy stuff, and then like the camera's moving, and there's girls dancing, and as the girls come onto the screen, the music goes from like
Oh my
Do you remember this? I can't remember what part it is.
I feel like you.
But even the score
had
is misogynist. It's
some
crazy.
sort of like brain aneurysm that created
No,
that scene
I
in
know,
your
I
head.
saw
Well, there was even a scene at the pool in the beginning where, like,
It might be that.
you know,
I
the
can't
like,
remember.
you know, the like, obviously, filmed before, shots of like the pool and everyone having fun at the pool.
Yeah, and how well they time that dive when that guy comes up.
Oh, like there's
my God.
nobody in the pool
Nailed
but
it.
that guy.
I love that. I mean,
That was-
come on,
It was like a
that's
helicopter shot, and
Yeah.
the guy had to nail it, and they
Yeah.
probably didn't even have walkie-talkies back then. I don't know what
There
they
wasn't one other person in the pool, which is weird. Anyway,
that's true.
So there's like this scene of like just like a panning by scene of extras, and it's like action and one guy with his arm around two bikini clad girls run off, and it's like even the fucking extras are like 2-to-1. Everyone. Oy vey.
But that's the thing. This is why I feel justified in being as incensed as I am, is because if you watch any music videos, women as duplicates with a single man is a common theme you will see in anything.
You're
women
just thinking of those two Robert Palmer videos.
No, it's
and blurred lines.
That's it. That's all it is.
And every other one.
and everything. But I mean, women as identityless duplicates of each other. Because
The worst example of that is twins. Gross. That's incest.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
When guys
when
are like,
it's
I'm
twins.
totally
Yeah,
into
yeah.
twins.
Yeah.
No, you're not. That's
And
gross.
twins.
Twins. Yeah. Is that Budweiser or
I
something?
think so. The
I'm just
fucking
saying-
stupidest thing in the world.
I'm so annoyed that I have a headache. Like I'm
Allie.
so angry.
Let's go talk it out. Let's help. How do we?
Let's have
come on.
feminism
How
corner
can
with
we
Allie
show
Ward.
you? I'm just gonna say, you guys should watch Casino Royale. I'd be interested on their
Yeah,
take.
I think you'd still find some major issues, like you said, even just with the character of showing a flawed character and why is that okay or whatever. But it would be interesting to see what you guys think of where they've gone, even though it's going back to the first novel.
No, I'm very interested
Yeah.
in that. So much so that I might have you guys come back.
Hey, didn't we have a martini in the Duke Hotel? Where
We did.
It was where.
where they wrote James Bond. Yeah, there was
They-
Wait, what?
There's a martini bar in the Duke Hotel in London that is one of the best martini bars, air quotes, on the planet. And the guy who wrote the Bond series would drink his martinis there. And shake and not stirred is usually not the proper way to
Yeah.
drink
Correct,
a martini.
Yeah,
Correct.
for
Yeah,
So
he talks about that.
Yeah.
He does, and how he uses gin martinis, even though it's both gin and vodka, and the Vesper martini wasn't
Yeah.
very popular at the time.
I like a
and he
Vesper.
switched it back.
That's essentially him being like, I'd like a glass of Merlot, extra ice. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what I mean? But somehow that's like made him cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, but that has informed my drinking. James Bond has informed
Sure.
my
Really?
adult
Hmm.
drinking.
In
Yeah,
what way?
I drink
Just depression,
I drink
really.
martinis and scotch, and that's almost.
I no longer drink
exclusively
scotch.
what I drink.
You after drunk
drank
history?
all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Your Toyota is not going to turn into an Aston Martin.
It's a Volvo.
And okay, whatever. But do you know what I mean? Like that's what's so funny is how these things are picked up kind of subconsciously or whatever, but like that those seem like manly drinks. But like when there's nothing manly about a martini glass.
Oh, yeah.
no,
for
correct.
sure.
Yeah, the
Did-
most
No, but I don't think-
ill-shaped
I don't
thing
think it's-
ever to hold liquid.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's what I love about his favorite drink comes in this just shapely glass.
Delicate.
Yeah,
With a
I
straw.
love that.
What
Yeah.
did Jonah calls it? A table with a stick?
Yeah.
A what?
I don't remember.
Oh, Jonah has a name for how shitty a martini
Yeah,
glass
it's
is.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah.
And he's probably mad because I always spill it on him. He's usually next to me when I'm drinking.
The other thing is like it's like 7 fluid ounces of straight distilled
Yeah.
spirit, so you can afford to spill at least 4 of those ounces
Yeah.
on your pants, and you're still an alcoholic. It's
Yeah.
like you're fine.
No, I
But
don't. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
A martini is like the Costco of beverages. It's like how much can I get alcohol in bulk?
Yeah.
Like the
And I can make a hell of a Vesper. I have Lillet at home.
Really?
What if
You
instead it
have
was like
we have some,
a
too.
Long Island iced tea? Because that's just as bad.
That'd be
I'll
great.
have a Long Island.
In
How's that, James Bond?
in a
voice?
plastic
It's not
cup
bad.
Yeah.
with a
I'll
straw.
have a Long Island.
I do.
I'll
I'm
take
not
a
gonna
lot.
lie.
It's pretty good.
When I am at a bar that does not have a martini glass, and yet they still make a martini, I do kind of get delighted by the. fact
I
that
order
it comes-
martinis
Yeah.
in a
What
in
did-
a up or in a
tumbler?
A low ball?
tumbler. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I will never get a fucking martini glass.
They're
I
so-
order in
they're
a
so
tumbler.
ridiculous.
Period.
Yeah.
Why? Just because of their top heavy or the image
spill.
that-
They're top heavy. They look stupid.
You look
It's-
like Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, you look like
Oh,
you're a
thank you.
like, and you drink it like a. Yeah, you look stupid when you're drinking out of a.
You know
Sorry,
what?
no,
You know why
I don't
though?
worry
Not
about
you
it. I don't
specifically.
mind,
I bet
don't
you
worry.
look amazing.
Do you know what martini glasses are made for? They're made to sit on a bar where you just slurp your lips to it and you don't get off
Here,
the
you know
stool
what?
for 4 hours.
I'm incensed now because here's something that I've always bothered me,
okay. All right.
and this is a gender thing as well.
All right.
there are certain drinks that men cannot drink.
Yeah,
Apple
And
teeny.
it pisses me off because I love cookies. I love sweet, flowery, girly drinks.
A Cosmo isn't
and
even
I don't
really
care
girly.
who knows it.
Yeah, everyone does now.
Yes.
Do you want
Order
a
them.
But I
Spank?
like Scott. I do. But I don't like this thing when you're with someone and they're like the waiter will go, here's what
God.
we've got, and the guy next to you will be like, for the girls, right? Or whatever.
Well, that guy, you need to stop hanging out with assholes.
Yeah.
is your
Well, this
problem.
guy's just at the table next
Is
to
it
her. I don't
Paul?
even
Is it
know him.
Paul?
Yeah.
What an
No, but
honor.
it does bother me that there is this thing because I think it's one of those things that's just stigma related, and I don't even think that guy really thinks that. In fact, I bet he probably
Yeah.
likes the drink. He thinks I'm supposed to
Yep.
say that that's the new norm, and that bugs me. Because,
So what's your favorite drink then?
I love girly drinks.
yeah, well, I do. I mean, that being said, I also do like. I really like just a good smoky Scotch, but like
You don't have
from
to say that. You don't. You're in a safe place right now. You
No,
can
I
just
really.
tell us.
I don't anymore, but
He drank so much Lefroy during Drunk History. I
Yeah.
asked him
Yeah.
about this, and he
Yeah.
like couldn't look at it.
I can't smell it anymore.
Still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me nauseous.
Do not get and do not binge on Lefroy.
I
Lucky
know,
for us, we
yeah.
drank a little of everything.
Yeah.
So we can't be.
I love.
I once drank
love,
it in
love a
Italian.
mojito.
Oh, sure,
girly.
yeah. Mojitos are good.
I get looks.
Yeah, you do get looks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But I know that one's not super mojito, so like, yeah, I don't.
it's
It's
not
not like I
super
drink
mojito?
like a pink drink or anything like that. But
Like a hibiscus spritzer.
oh, that sounds so good.
What about a white wine
I
spritzer?
got one. I got a flight of martinis
Hibiscus.
once.
Light of martinis is a
Oh,
thing.
Dad.
It was a thing. yeah.
Yes, Dad.
Yep.
We're on vacation.
And I just thought, oh, a flight of martinis. It'll be a bunch of, normal looking martinis. I don't know why I thought they would all be sort of clear. But one of them had like a blue blinking light ice cube in it.
Oh God!
How does that
Number one, why were you in Reno? What were you doing in Reno?
It was in the Canadian portion of Epcot Center.
Oh, what?
Why?
It's the worst.
I'm trying to connect that in any way possible. That's like the only thing I can come up with is that's the Northern Lights.
It was at Le Cellier, which
oh
is
my God!
a really good restaurant.
You should
But
not.
there was a flight of martinis, and I had to order
Were they
it.
all
Oh,
teeny? Like,
yeah.
you
I was
know when
like,
you get a flight
you
of
put,
beer?
that, you put that on a fucking menu. I'm gonna order it. What's up?
Was it like little tiny martini
It was
glass?
little tiny
Shut
martini
your mouth.
glasses.
it was
I'm in.
child size.
I'm totally
It was
into
child size.
tiny. Give me anything small.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! But then there was one that was like chocolate with like a white chocolate straw
Oh,
in
God.
it, and it was just like I was like,
No.
well, I guess I'll drink this.
What do you expect? Like 4 different kinds of gin?
I thought, hey, Bronger. I'm just saying, hey, Bronger, yelling out the window.
Hey, it's wrong.
4 different. Yeah, like a vodka one, a dirty one,
Yeah.
a gin one. But I mean, you're in Disneyland.
Right? Yeah.
What
well,
the
it was World.
What do you expect? Like you're gonna get whimsical lights.
Well, I had a different flight the night before at
Oh.
their Brown Derby in
God.
Disney Hollywood Studios,
Papa's so sad.
and that was good, and it wasn't all.
Well, they should tell you if there's a flight. They should
Oh, sure.
tell you if you're getting a white chocolate straw.
And a
Yeah,
light.
I think it's something we need to know.
This just makes me want to go drinking with you
Yeah.
because
I'm on.
you sound adventurous.
Let's do it. I love it. I order weird shit all the time.
Yeah, me
just
too.
to see what it is. But if you put a fucking flight of martinis on a menu, it's gonna get ordered by me. Sorry.
You put Capri Sun on a menu, it's going to get ordered.
Yeah,
by
of
me.
course.
Yeah.
But let
Virgin or
me
not.
put the straw in.
Yeah, I'll let
It's the
you.
best
put-
part.
yeah,
A
it's
Capri
fair
Sun
enough.
and tonic, or like a gin Capri Sun.
What about Capri Sun? But it has to have a sidecar. It can't because you want to do the straw
Secondary
yourself, and it
pouch.
has to come in the pouch. Otherwise, it's just like gross juice in a glass.
Are we going to start a podcast called Kinder Drinking? Because I think that
love
would be
this.
a really good idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do it.
What to serve in tiny glasses at Disneyland?
Kinderholics
Yeah.
with Allie in Georgia?
No.
So where do you
That's
guys
so
where do you
sad.
guys stand? What is so? Let's ask you guys.
Oh, do you
Your-
want to know? Do you want to know an alternate ending?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, please.
Okay. Here's my alternate ending. Okay, so what happens? There's some bomb the size of a coffin. I don't fucking know.
It's a nuclear bomb.
Cool.
I
Whoever
realize
created that
It's-
bomb is.
It's a very dirty
Ken
bomb.
Adams,
Yeah.
the
I love
guy
that he's
I
like
love.
also like I'll touch here. I'll touch here. Touching things. It's
Yeah.
Trying to turn off.
There's
the
like
thing.
one shitty dumb light, like a flashbulb
Yeah.
light that's red.
It kind of looks like a Willy Wonka kind of creation.
I love it.
It's
I
hilarious.
love it.
and
ahead.
so, but to recap, they defuse the bomb, whatever. What do you call when you bomb? When you
Defuse it.
Defuse it, yeah.
Defuse bomb, and then next thing you know, they're fucking on a parachute in Cuba or something. I don't know
Yeah.
where they are. It's tropical though. But I was thinking right after they fuck on the parachute, and he's like, "Give me a minute, search helicopter while I bone this lady, this lesbian." We would cut to Goldfinger sailing from the sky, and then he hits in a field, and he's just an exploding sack of blood and bones. And just because we forget, he falls out of a plane, but I want to see that, like, boom, and it's really sad. And then we see a montage of all the funerals of all the people who died, and all of their kids crying.
Oh my god!
And then we see a couple of the women he boned, like Dink. Dink mournfully walks out of like a Hollywood abortion clinic,
Totally.
wipes a tear, and then gets on a bus, and then the credits roll.
Where's the bus? Where you have to pan to the top where the bus says where it's going. Where's it heading?
Oh, back to Ohio.
Okay.
I don't know.
I wish it said London. Like she was going to see what this is what you did
From
to me.
Hollywood.
Really good idea.
I thought it would be kind of cool if because it's always a different Bond or supposed to be whatever. What if at the end of every movie he dies and that's the reason there's a different Bond in every movie?
Oh, that's nice.
It isn't. That's a
Kills himself?
That's a misconception. He's always supposed to be the same guy throughout
Yeah.
every movie. But
It's just a different 007.
No, it's
No.
a different actor portraying the same man.
it's
Oh, that's what I. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's supposed to be the same dude.
same man,
Yeah.
same code name.
Yeah,
It's all
okay,
the same.
that's what I thought.
Same history.
But what if it wasn't? What if instead, like 007, the number kept getting like freed up because this fucking idiot kept. He's a
dying.
terrible,
Yeah.
terrible spy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they do
obviously.
keep passing the numbers along, don't they?
They do if the
Yeah.
person dies. Yeah.
His supervisor's like, morale is really low for this position.
008 is
Keeps
like, come
dying.
on.
Wait, I think 008 died. 006
I
died.
think they've pretty much
002
all died.
died.
All cirrhosis.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
And
STDs,
STDs.
yeah.
But they do that. They do sort of nod to that. They do make fun of his liver in
Oh,
the
that's
later
good.
movies.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and too much refined corn syrup, am I right? Conscious.
You mean corn sugar?
Too many free
I don't know.
radicals.
What did I say? Corn syrup?
No, I'm just
Whatever.
saying, like, high fructose corn syrup
Yeah.
is now corn sugar.
Yeah.
That's
oh.
what they've
Well,
rebranded.
it's just like real
it got a
sugar.
rebranding,
Like
everybody.
the new Bond is going to be gluten free,
Yeah.
and his spy lady is going to get just as much pay as he.
Oh, that would be nice.
Go figure.
But no, back to the whole drink situation. You guys, experts in the field, what is your go-to? What is your go-to beverage?
I'd say,
Allie?
you know what, my go-to beverage right now is bitters and soda, which
Okay.
is conspicuously does not involve alcohol.
Yeah, I was just gonna.
I'm just been on a health kick, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually find that that
Yeah, I'm
when
gonna
you
have to
can-
do 40 minutes on a treadmill because I ate.
No,
3
you're
of those.
fine.
Oh god,
It's healthy.
it's
Matza's
too
good
hot.
for you.
It's too hot to drink, but I like a Negroni. I'm a big fan of Negronis.
Yeah, that's actually a really good.
We've been drinking those lately.
Have you?
Yeah. It's
good
My
stuff.
girlfriend's been making them. She's pretty good at that stuff. I'm still learning a little.
A Negroni is just equal parts of three
Can
things.
I speak to you under the table for a second?
Well, while they're gone, Georgia,
I didn't say I was good at math. She's good at math. I'm
guys,
not good
I
at
can hear
math.
you under the
I
table.
think it's kind of shitty that you just threw her under the bus.
No, I'm just
Super
saying.
hard.
No, it was more to be like encouraging. Like you can be good at Negronis.
Well,
All you need is
I will also challenge you to follow that decimal to 33.333, and it keeps going. And so we've still never made a drink because we don't
Never
know
made the
actual-
right-
Yeah.
it's a good. And then that extra point ever percent is I don't know. Just
secret
a
is
Who do you
tier.
give it to?
A tier.
Which
It's a
which
single tier.
ingredient do you give
The secret
extra
is to get on the
decimal to?
scale and pour each into your mouth
Yeah.
slowly.
All right, see now I'm into that.
That's how they do it at craft cocktail bars. Why? What are your favorites? Yours used to be Lefroy. Georgia, what's yours?
Oh, I really am kind of sick of cocktails, to be totally honest
Yep.
with you guys. Like, we've had so many cocktails,
Yeah,
and I like classic ones, like a really good old fashioned, like at Kohl's downtown. Like a
I
great
like
one. I don't want,
old-fashions.
I don't like to experiment too much when I don't know, at this point, when I don't know the bartender and know that they know what they're doing. You
Yeah.
know? There's a place called Evely in Hollywood, and the bartender or the bar manager there is so good, and everything he just fucks around with is going to be great. So I don't mind that. But I really like beer.
I was just
an
going to say,
IPA.
I like beer as well.
I'm obsessed with IPAs
I
right
like
now.
Yeah.
Wheat
Me
beers,
too.
summery beers.
I
hate
put
beer.
on if I drink beer, I put on so much weight.
Really?
I am 5 pounds overweight right now, and I should go back to cocktails.
You look great.
Thank
Don't worry
you.
about it.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
do you.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
all do.
you
You
do.
guys.
Well, I've
Yeah.
been training for 12 weeks.
I know.
For what?
It's paying off. It looks great.
I'm gonna drop 100 pounds just for fun.
That's fun. Sounds like
Do you have
fun.
100 to drop?
Yeah.
Are you going to cut off one of the limbs?
No, I'm like 280 right now.
Oh, I didn't
so
know that.
I got to drop
Yeah, you
like
don't look
another
it.
100.
Oh, you're gonna be
Like, get-
skinny.
Get that high fructose
Well,
corn syrup.
hopefully, guys, I'll be pretty jacked. So when I take off my shirt, I can seduce a lesbian.
It's going to take more than
goal.
that. It's going to take us a little force.
What do you say
Apparently.
the four of us
Quick
go out
roll
and
in the
seduce
hay?
some lesbians right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's find some saggy bottom jodhpurs out there, guys.
But our rider for Nerdist shows is Jonah gets a giant bottle of Kettle One, and I always make sure they have cranberry juice
Don't
because
want to
I
get
like vodka
UTI.
cranberries.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
Yeah.
you ride
and I
off
don't
his
want a
rider.
UTI. Correct.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, we have one rider, and I just
You don't want a
I
UTI, but you're fine with just liver damage. Just get it
there's
out.
nothing wrong with a good vodka soda with lime. That's pretty
Yeah.
nice.
I'll drop a lime in there, make it a Cape Codder.
I don't know. I sometimes feel like I used to drink vodka sodas, and I feel like a vodka soda is just like, I would like drunk, please. Can I get drunk on ice?
And as little of a hangover as possible.
I'm also super lightweight. In fact, I'm a little drunk now, and I haven't had anything to drink. So I don't ever
fumes?
have that
You've been
problem.
drunk since you were 21.
Maybe.
The first day your
Yeah.
lips touched liquor.
Yeah, I was
you were
born drunk. I'm always just a little tired too, and I eat like a bird, so alcohol just seeps into me. And
Well, I
takes
get
over.
delighted by day drinking.
Yeah, I do
Like
too.
whenever it's
I
an
do.
I'd rather
whenever there's
day
an
drink than night
opportunity.
drink.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially like a long shadow afternoon. It's a little crisp, and you just got nowhere to go that night, and you just
It's got to be the
drunk already.
perfect atmosphere, though. Like, it's got to
Yeah.
be a little
Good
outdoors,
friends.
Yeah.
but nice and sunny. And
I don't mean to be the contrarian, but I hate being drunk in the day. I'm like, what's happening? Everything
yeah?
looks different and weird.
It's beautiful, and then
And
you
I
got to go home and
can't-
take a nap.
No,
and,
I don't nap, and so I'm like hung over
nap
by
either.
like 5. I've been drunk during the day maybe like 3 or 4 times in my
Really?
life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never.
I haven't even drunk.
But I'm
I
just
mean,
saying,
like,
I just
either
for
way.
some reason it's
drinks
weird for
during
me.
the day.
I don't know why. Like I don't know. I'm always crashed at the end. But I
Oh
don't know.
man, a beer on a
can't do
patio
it.
during the day, like that means that that means you're living your life right because you don't have obligations right now. You're taking care of everything.
Yeah, exactly. It signifies that your day's done early, and
Totally.
you just get to relax.
Totally.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on pumpkin beer? It's that season.
I don't like.
Oh.
I like beer, so I don't need it to have fucking flavors and shit in
I
it.
like.
What if you
beer
make a
lot.
beer float with like pumpkin ice cream?
Oh fuck yeah!
Right?
I like what you're talking
I would do
about.
that.
I would only drink beer if you surrounded it also in ice cream.
Yeah, Allie wants it to be a milkshake. She doesn't want it to be a beer.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm super healthy. Like I ate an entire tub of Cool Whip by myself, like in like a day or two. If you can,
Hardly any carbs in that. Don't worry about it.
so
You're
bad
fine,
for you.
believe me.
It's so bad for you. I got it because we had to test like beer floats and stuff, and I got it for recipe testing, and then I used a scoop of it, and then I just
Yeah, but
Scoop the rest into
but
your
where
phone.
you're
Kept
going with this pumpkin ice cream and a pumpkin beer
with a
situation.
shot of butterscotch schnapps, maybe.
I actually just made a pumpkin milkshake, pumpkin bourbon milkshake with maple syrup and some spices, and it
love
was
it.
really, really
I
good.
love
What kind of ice cream?
It's vanilla ice cream, roasted pumpkin, bourbon, spices. Fuck yeah,
Done.
it's so good.
Perfect.
Oh, and a little maple syrup. It'll be on our. It's a recipe we worked on for Cooking Channel.
Yeah,
so
they have a bunch of
check
holiday
that out.
cocktails. 10 holiday cocktails.
So you guys gonna be bumping out to commercial? I'll see you guys when I'm like flipping the channels and like holiday drink
Oh,
time.
no. It's just
or is it a
written.
show?
It's written. It's a written thing.
We just had to turn in a bunch of holiday recipes, but we like created them during the heat wave last
Oh.
week. So I was making like glog, and my apartment doesn't have air conditioning, so it's like 100, and I put a meat thermometer on the table, and it got to 117. And then I was making like mulled cider. And I was
How do
like,
we tie this back into Bond?
I was
Sorry,
just
guys.
wondering,
So far
yeah, it's just-
away.
there's got to be a way, though.
There's got to
There's
be.
gotta be.
a way.
So he gets on the airplane. He's like 3 drinks.
Yeah.
for me.
He's drinking for 3. He's pregnant with twins.
Yep.
I
and
feel-
we learned that was bad.
An obligation to get some things out to the Bond nerds out there.
Okay,
go
okay,
ahead.
do it.
Do it.
Orson Welles was originally going to play Goldfinger.
Ooh, I would be more interested in that.
Yeah, me
would've
too.
been
I think
amazing.
too. Yeah. Gert Frobe is in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which Ian Fleming also wrote.
All right.
That's all I have.
That's all you have.
Like, what about?
Oh, he was wearing a flesh-colored Band-Aid on his hand because he was married at the time and didn't want to take off his wedding ring.
Oh,
But then also, I think,
couldn't they add
beat
that
his
in?
wife or something.
Gert,
No,
Sean.
Connery, yeah.
He wouldn't take off his wedding ring for a role.
Apparently, also, didn't he have some issue with abuse with his wife?
It
Which
wasn't
is
an
funny 'cause-
issue with him.
happened,
I
yeah.
mean, he had.
So
with it.
Roger Moore, who's probably the other longest playing Bond, he had an issue with abuse with his wife too, but he was abused by his wife, which tells you everything you need to know about those two Bonds. He's more of the gentleman swap. You guys might actually like a Roger Moore movie.
Which one? Like what?
I like
Well,
that it's almost like you're prescribing us
Yeah, we're
weed
trying
or
to get
something.
you.
Like,
yeah, I am. I want to
this
get you
one's
the
a
right high.
sativa or
I do.
whatever.
I want to get you the right high. And all
This is a Purple Haze
time
Bond. Like we don't know anything about it.
I know so little about marijuana. I was like,
I don't know
is
either.
that a sweetener? Stevia?
I don't know. I know that there's two kinds of
whatever.
pot, and both of them make me horrified and
Yeah,
scared.
I don't care
There
for
is
pot
one
either.
that look.
I sound like such a buzzkill. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Just invite me on a podcast to talk about misogyny, and shit's gonna get real.
I
I'm real
understand.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, we didn't invite you to talk about
Yeah.
misogyny. But it's just,
Wasn't that goal? It's fine that it was, but
It's a natural
wasn't-
progression.
It just came out
Like,
on
to be
the-
fair.
It's just,
I'm sorry.
Goldfinger, everyone's favorite
But
James
you know
Bond
what?
movie. Is,
Well, it is Nerdist, so if we're going to really get serious, there's going to be some misogyny
And that's
happening.
fair
anyways.
enough.
That's
I
true.
Have to, yeah.
I welcome introspection about these things and looking at films of antiquity. and-
Thoughtful introspection.
yes.
Oh, are you saying about comments? Is that what you're
Just
talking about?
in general, I'm
Oh.
But she
saying
likes to do it.
I thank
Oh,
you
sorry,
for the
yeah.
opportunity
Oh, yeah.
to look at this cinematic relic of misogyny.
Of its time. Yeah.
But the gadgets, you guys. Oh my god.
Like in
That
a
Aston
razor,
Martin. That
in
Aston
you
Martin.
like put a honing signal in a razor.
That's
Also,
pretty
you guys,
Why
they
is it
wouldn't
a
have given him his luggage back. Come on,
I know.
they wouldn't have given it to
Well,
him.
that's the weird thing about these villains. They're always this gentleman like duality.
Yeah.
Like they'll let them sit down and have Dom Perignon and stuff. But
Totally.
I am going to kill you, but
Yeah.
I really want a good chat before you go, and you're the only one that gets me.
And why
you
they
know?
lose his attaché
like-
case, but not his fucking.
because his attaché case would have had knives in it.
All
it's
the
all
tools
stuff.
of the trade.
Yeah,
But
from
his
the previous
but
movie.
his razor blade is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
What if he had a
Man
box
needs to-
cutter on that plane?
Man needs to shave.
It actually is September.
What do you
Oh.
a shoe bomb?
I have
I like that.
something.
That was good.
Remember when we were talking about lighter before, and I
Yeah,
said,
Felix.
"Oh, this guy's the stocky one." You were right.
Yeah.
He's not stocky.
Yeah, he's not
But
stocky.
also,
I
his
don't know
name
why
is
you
Keck
imagine.
Linder.
Keck Linder?
Keck Linder.
Linder?
Keck. Just Keck is his first name.
He
Keck.
sounds like a hairball.
Yeah. Keck Linder. And
But it's
he's
just-
the only one on set in Miami. Everybody else was on rear
Right.
projection in London.
Right.
He was the only one there.
But I just find it fascinating that they went so different with
know.
the Felix Leiters.
Yeah, he was originally played by Jack Lord. Do you guys remember Hawaii Five-0? And he's like a real
Bum,
dashing
bum,
guy. But in Dr.
bum.
No, he's wearing like basically female cat sunglasses.
It is an interesting choice in
it's a
glasses.
strange anomaly.
But yeah, Felix Leiter. I don't know. I was disappointed in this Felix Leiter. I like the Felix that shows up twice.
David Hedison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
David Hedison shows up in Live and Let Die.
Yeah,
and
and
License to Kill.
Yeah.
Guys, there's
Why are you checking your
20.
phones? I don't
I'm not
understand
taking
what
a
the
photo
problem
of
No,
you
I
guys.
checked my watch because I
No.
parked in a 2-hour. It's simple as that.
I was just thinking maybe we've gone too far.
No, I'm taking photos of you guys to Instagram right now.
Instagram.
I love it. I love it. Get it
Well-
on there. So, guys, fair to say that you are never going to watch another James Bond movie?
Absolutely not. I would watch it.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it alone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the person.
Maybe we have a watching session
Yeah.
where we drink and watch.
What about a
If we-
live, like a
If we had an MST3K
Exactly.
situation
Yes, thank
happening,
you.
and I were allowed to voice my annoyance
You mean with an audience
and
or
ask
without?
questions,
you
then
could
yeah.
certainly-
What about live
That
audience?
is
like a
that
live...
is it's something Doug Benson and I have been talking about doing. Doug wants, when Skyfall was coming out, he wanted to go back and do like all of them, like, and interrupt all of them. But I don't. He never ended up doing it.
If we just
Is
did
there
like
a way we can do it? Could we just? Here's an interesting thing to do.
Yes.
Maybe we go back with them and record a commentary track
For Goldfinger? Or
for Goldfinger or a different movie.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Press play now, and then we start
Yeah.
Yeah.
comment on
Yeah.
it. Because I have so many thoughts about things in life. Because I'm a woman who has those things and
Oh.
thinks
Man talk. SWAT. At the
No.
very end, it'll just be like one
Well,
of SWAT.
thank you guys for joining us on Man Talk.
Yeah.
spank us out.
Can you hand me my terry cloth onesie?
Oh, I mean,
Oh, I'm
hand him
wearing
his
it.
brush, his brush and his terry cloth onesie.
I'm gonna jump into a car crusher.
There'll be no blood. It's crazy.
So on that note, thank you for enduring.
Yeah.
this-
No, you guys, this has been so
film.
much fun. I
Yeah.
really appreciate
And
this.
Let's give you guys
Cool.
some plugs. Twitter,
Okay.
Twitter.
Twitter's Allie and Georgia, ALIEAND, Georgia like the state.
we have a podcast called Slumber Party with Allie and Georgia.
Love it.
You
Yeah.
can find our TV show, what is it called? Tripping
Tripping
Out
Out.
with Allie and Georgia on iTunes.
I've watched
What is
it.
our
I really
TV show
enjoyed
called?
it. Wait, I've watched it. I know what it is.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I really
Oh,
did. I saw
thanks.
when you
Yeah,
guys
I
went
liked
to
it too.
Alaska.
Yeah, that's
It was
fun.
really good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
one, I want to hear stories about that, but that's another podcast.
It's called the TV show.
It's called Watch Our Goddamn TV Show.
I did watch the show. I want to hear behind the scenes
Okay.
stories. My God.
I want you to go on another podcast where you talk about how man-hating our TV show is. And just
Oh my, it is, man. Wait a
Buzzing
minute.
out with Allie
It's
and
not.
Tom.
No, I've seen
I
it.
swear to God. And then we're on Unique Sweets on the cooking channel, and you can stalk us on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, we're on
and
Instagram.
Do it. You're on. You
We
guys
have-
quite a social media presence.
We do
Oh,
our
my
best.
goodness.
We're gonna gram
Good job.
this.
Yeah, we're
Grab
going
it.
on this.
Are you guys on, as my dad called it on the phone today, pin interest?
Interest, that's adorable.
I love my dad.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Well, he is.
Apparently, so is Allie most of the time.
I just sometimes hop over there and I see what's cooking. I was looking for good glasses frames.
Exactly. That's a
fair.
good
Oh,
thing to
that's-
do.
yeah,
I wish
vision board.
I wish there were more males using it.
Well, it's
You know
like a
what I mean?
cocktail.
Because you can't
just
really
get in there.
find what you're looking
Oh,
for.
is someone?
Well, let me
Matt Gorley?
explain.
Wait a second.
Oh,
Does
let me
Matt
explain.
Gorley have a?
I do, but let me explain.
Oh,
It's not under my name.
That's the Cosmo.
Because
of-
it's already taken. My name is already
Shut
taken
up.
on Pinterest.
Weird.
Pinterest.
Whatever. Pinterest.
But my girlfriend was on it. It's a long story. She doesn't have like a typical Pinterest page, but I, as a joke, got on there and just put like Christian inspirational sayings and Oprah Winfrey things and connected to her just to
Oh
see
my
what
God.
she'd do. And I don't think she's still caught that it's me.
Man,
like,
to
it's
fun
just sitting
buns.
there.
You better
Yeah.
check your
I know.
pinned interest.
Yeah.
That is.
Pin interest.
Right. She's gonna start repinning stuff, and you're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, who are you?"
Finally, someone gets me.
But I forget that I have it because I never use it except every week I get an email update like your
Hey,
Pinterest
check out your
weekly
Pinterest.
Oh,
update, yeah.
dear.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. This has
yes,
been fun.
Yes, it was.
It was fun.
If you have any comments or anything, you can email us.
Yeah.
At,
What
Be
is our
nice.
email again?
Be nice.
God, I don't remember.
It's
They don't have to be
bonding
nice.
James Bonding. Bond James Bonding at gmail.com. It's one of the
yeah,
two. But we're on Twitter,
James
too.
Bonding at gmail.com. James Bonding Pod on Twitter.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody. There's been so many great suggestions for segments and
Yeah.
ideas. That,
And we obviously
that-
haven't taken any of them yet.
but we read everything, even if we haven't gotten back to you or anything. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you
Sing your song.
next time.
Matt and Matt. James Bond.
James
So much trouble with the sexes.
Good job.
Nice job, guys. Thank you.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.